trying to get closer here. Ult comes in, left, right next to them. Sociable again. They might be just doing this. Kicks can do nothing. Try and find safety, but there's none to be had. BBL, sheer tenacity and determination, taking down Vitality, getting over that final hurdle and securing playoffs.
Which is a big achievement for this roster. Been a little hot and cold, but improvements across the board. This stage of VCT, a team to really get behind and believe in for the BBL fans.
They've certainly put on a show, Mike. And you can see the progress there. You can see the difference every time we see them play. And for Vitality, man, that was close.
Yeah.
They brought that game back after a mad end to Icebox and a hard start at the end.
I mean, again, all things considered, this wasn't a bad series from Vitality.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, maybe dropping the ball a little bit.
Grape got stuck in my throat.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
YouTube, what's up?
red flag. So overall, positives for sure.
That was a BBL and Vitality.
So well deserved, all the hard work paying off
BBL just clutched it.
for BBL.
I'm gonna be with you in spirit. We're gonna do the watch party, Fnatic and Team Liquid.
Very well done.
All right.
Proud of that one. Showing, as I said, no
With you in spirit and chat.
game by game. Securing it in this fashion has to be fantastic. And, I guess
For more information, go to ValorantEsports.com.
BBL
That's all I'm gonna say. Let's tune in. It should be a good one. Was Chronicle right?
It keeps increasing now.
dangerous little team.
Who knows?
Again, game by game, showing more and more threat. And a rough one for Vitality. Got to say it, Mike. A hard position. But enough from us. We will have an interview standing by. We've got Magnum down on the stage for the one and only Dracos.
Thank you very much, Pansy and IPOC. I am joined by the victorious Magnum. Magnum, right off the bat, how did it feel? Headshot on Durka in the final round to win, to qualify for playoffs. I know you guys have so much history. What was going through your head in that moment, knowing you would clutch it out?
I mean, for me, it was. It felt like the game is slipping out of hands, kind of like Core out against Giants. So we were just trying to do what we learned from that match. And to be honest, nothing. Just play together, trade each other, and that's it. That's what we did, and yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it seems like you've shown that improvement. How did the Icebox map feel specifically for you guys? Because it was 2 flawless rounds into what felt like the most effortless close ever. Was that you guys just playing at your absolute peak?
Well, I think today we won so many clutches, but on that Icebox it was quite opposite. Like the starting, all of the rounds we could have won, almost all of them. So we knew that we are still playing good, we can still come back. And then we won like 2 rounds and it felt incredible, like the energy, so yeah.
Yeah, it definitely felt like it carried through. Speaking of Durka, you guys have so much history playing against each other. Does it add to the stakes when you see him on the opposite side on stage? Does it make you want to win more? What's going through your head when you face him?
Well, it's not, I don't know how to describe the feeling. Like, it always feels a bit different playing against your old teammates, especially someone like Darkano, who I look up to, and he's a great player. But in the game, you don't feel it. You just want to win, no matter what. And it's just more after the game, it's like nice bonus, you know?
All right, the post-game bonus. Fair enough, not trying to let it get to you. Qualify for playoffs now. Obviously, still one more week, one more opponent. But what's the focus for BBL? What's the focus to try and get ready for playoffs to show us the best version of this squad?
I think champs. Like, we set the goal to go champs. When we lost the Giants, we had big talk because we knew that this game we should have won. We were the favorites in that game, yeah, and we choked that. So we had big talk. We fixed a lot of things, hopefully. It looks like it. And yeah, the goal always has been champs, and that's what we are going for.
Making excellent progress on that road to champs, brother. Thank you so much, Magnum. Congrats again on the win today. Big match, of course. We'll have to see what happens in playoffs, but thank you so much for taking the time. When we return, TL versus Fnatic going head-to-head. Don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it.
not really any time for Boaster to run it back, but he will land the shot anyway! Nice! Come on, you...
Damn, what a way to queue us up for this matchup. Battle at the top of the table between two obviously incredible teams, and Fnatic winning, locking champs. That's like the biggest, most important stake in terms of the league and everything else. But it does feel a little bit personal after you see a clip like that. There's a lot of history between these two teams.
What's an anchor? Why did he call Nats an anchor? What does that mean?
No idea. I absolutely
I wasn't
know
what it meant.
Anchor was just encouraging him to anchor the site, right?
Just stay on the side. You're supposed to be very good. If you're not, so you're supposed to be even better.
He is a good anchor.
He is a good anchor.
You got to be ready to play by yourself.
Yeah,
you know, that's what it is.
And no fracture this time, Bear, so they can't throw
I'm sad. I'm sad actually because I really enjoy fracture. I feel like we don't get enough of it. Like we got it for like one stage and then it's gone. But despite that, we have to be realistic. These are two of the best teams that we have in EMEA. On the side of Liquid, the promise that they've shown throughout the entirety of the year, making those international events, and a Fnatic that now is revamped, that had a very, very good showing, as we know, in Toronto, making it to the grand final, and just doing a fancy.
Yeah,
what is this?
It's Kayak's birthday, I think. This is for Kayak's birthday. Happy birthday to Kayak. He's older than Alpha, by the way, which is insane. I do like that every single time we get a Fnatic versus Liquid, there's some kind of background story. You know, back in 2023, the next time that we saw them outside of a final, there was beef on the side of Fnatic because they're like, oh, they robbed us of a good trophy. You know, they ended up getting the bucket. And then this time around, Liquid obviously, surely they want revenge after what happened on that fracture.
Absolutely, and I think that, but also thinking of this whole narrative again is Fnatic again the best in the region, and Team Liquid fought so hard for that title, and it looks like it never belongs to them.
I mean, Paddy, do you agree with what Paddy was saying? He was saying that EMEA overall isn't a strong region, and Liquid are just heads above everybody else.
I mean, I think that he has a point that today he can prove if he really thinks that.
Yeah, if he wants to be head and shoulder above everybody else, he could probably start by winning the group, which again, one match away. But of course, it's not just about the rivalry between the teams, there's also players, and there's a lot of iconic duos. And earlier today, Yinsu caught up with Cats and Brashies for a little game of frenemies.
It is not every day that we get to be joined by both Cats and Brashies here in the studio, so of course we had to get them together. We're going to play a very simple game. I asked 50 fans to vote you guys, to rank you guys from 1 to 4 in 3 different categories. I want to see you guys rank yourselves and compare and see if you got anywhere close to what the fans said. Are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Nice, we're working together. Let's just start with the first question. We're going to have the numbers 1 to 4 projected up here. And it is who the fans most want to see play Duelist. So first being most wanting to see play Duelist, and 4th being least. Take it away, guys.
I think Keiko's 4. We've seen you play Duelist.
Yeah, it's already been seen
Unless
before.
they want to just see it again.
But they want you to play
I think you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think Duelist?
I think me three, no?
Yeah, so we can...
The IGL's on Duelist, I think it'll be
interesting. Do you want to be 2, baby?
No, you be 2. You have to be.
Let's move slightly to your... Yeah. Okay, we locking this in. This is what you think the fans said?
Sure. Yeah.
All right, let's see what they actually said. What did the... You guys are so spot on. Now,
what the hell?
Yeah, so my favorite, because they were able to add some comments, and my favorite comment was Crashies has the best raised satchels in the game. Would you like to respond?
Yeah, that is actually true. There's a lot of famous clips of me on there on YouTube. A lot of good satchels.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it is fine.
This was actually quite close.
Yeah.
It could have you two could have flipped, but it was overwhelmingly you, Nat. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I want to play Duelist also one day.
Okay.
We'll see.Maybe we'll pull it out.
Kiko, okay.
I can't take it seriously.
Be honest, Kiko. What would need to happen for Nats to be playing Duelist on your team?
We would have to be coming from the lower brackets, playing some random map, and he would be playing Duelist, and we'll be praying.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. Let's make that happen. Second question. This is an interesting one.
We go back to us.
Yeah, go back to the middle. Who do you think the fans said when it comes to who's got the most aura? One being the most aura, 4 being the least.
Baby boy.
Get to that one.
I don't know about that, bro. Aura? What, you 4 again?
I think so. Might be.
I think I might be...
I'll go on 2.
I don't have much aura.
No, I think Nats, you gotta be 1, no?
Yeah, it's
the speeches, bro.
I think you can go 3 this time.
You go 1.
I can go
There you go.
I think you have aura, bro.
Okay, so what did you think, Nats? Because they all thought you'd be 1. Who would you say is 1?
I thought I would be 2, and Buster will be 1.
Really?
I don't have aura,
No,
mate.
this is You good. don't have aura?
Something else.
Okay, I think you're going to be very surprised. Let's reveal the result.
Oh, I told you. You see, I told you. Somewhere here.
First.
Gio, why are you not fourth here?
If you wanted to go here.
It's polite.
Honestly, once again, it was very close between you and Boaster. It could have been the other way around.
I got aura.
And the comment, my favorite comment, was 50% of the fans put Boaster as 1 or 2 because of the K-pop dances, and the other 50% of the fans put you last because of the K-pop dances.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that was gonna be the thing.
Yeah, it was very divisive. They either love your K-pop dancers or they don't like it. But yeah, okay, this was what the fans thought. One last one. If I presented you with a big red button with no explanation, who's most likely to press it without any hesitation?
Sure, I'm for.
Are you likely to press it? Because I don't think
I think I'd press it, to be honest.
Yeah, you go too.
I think I'd press it, to be honest.
Yeah, I just cannot
no
press.
Okay, so before we reveal, why have you sprinted to 1?
I would just press it. Simple as that. There's no explanation needed.
No explanation? I've seen you in an escape room. I think you would. I think you would actually just press it. Kiko, what about you?
I would have pressed it, to be honest. But these guys, the IGLs, they're
like scared or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Fear, I'm scared. I'm scared of also seeing my picture. I hate that one.
And Nat, you went straight to 4. So why?
I'm not pressing red button without inside information.
Oh, why? What's the reason?
No risks.
You just don't. You're not curious. You're not curious about it. You don't care.
No.
Okay, this is very funny.
I can let them take the risk.
This is very funny because we're gonna reveal what the fans said, and out of the out of the 50 people we asked, only 1 person didn't put Nat at 4. 49 people put Nat at 4,
yeah,
and 1 person put you at 3. I think they all unanimously felt like you would never press the button, and they know you. Yeah, they know you. Why are you two surprised when you saw the...
Apparently I'm pressing it.
I don't think he's pressing it.
I think I'm giving off a false image to people.
I agree.
Yeah, yours was very overwhelming. You were literally, almost everybody put you on.
Do you think I'd press the red button?
No, I think Austin is pressing it. Yeah. But Kiko, what about you? How did you
I'm surprised Boaster's first, to be honest. But I think it's just because he's a little bit of a troll, so maybe you just press it for funds, you know?
Yeah,
I think
that
so.
might be true, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Did you guys enjoy this game? We bring you back for next time? We'll do this again?
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, you want to send?
Loved it.
Want to send a message?
I love spending time with my frenemies.
Yes. I'll start with Cats. I want to send a message to Cats Nation. I think
Gio, you start, please.
They would like to hear it.
As IGL, you can give the speech.
Yeah. Cats Nation are listening. Go on.
He's full trolling. Yeah, we'll see. Today, let's have a fun game.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice.
Brashies, what about you?
Yeah, take it away.
Yo, what's up? It's my boy Boaster here with your boy Crashies, 2 of the fittest boys in all of EMEA. Thank you for the support.
All right, we'll see if they agree with that. We'll do another ranking, but thank you and good luck today.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Man, I just love frenemies. My take from that is that, I don't think we need gravity. Like, what if it was never invented?
What if it was never invented? You're so right. I think we should run it. We should do a EMEA.
I think that we should try it for a segment, do like pop culture moments, and to see if they can actually clock them. We just speak to them in that kind of language.
We're gonna have to vote now in Twitch chat if you have any idea what these two are talking about.
Instead of
it being
wait,
doesn't know frenemies. That is like one of the most iconic clips in history.
Instead of it being Brashies Cats, it should be Brashies Cat and us.
Yes.
We should throw ourselves in there next time.
So hard.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I have no idea why Boaster did not think that he would be first on the red button thing. That man.
I'm telling you, it would 100% be Crashies.
No, I believe you.
I love the decision.
But it's what the public thinks, because when I see a man who, without prompting, with no one asking him to, will run onto an international stage and start throwing ass, like that's the man I assume is not going to ask questions about the red button, and I don't think that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, I do like that Nats was so stoic, like he got every question right.
Yeah, even the one that he was changing, it was like, I don't know, I'm not sure about this one, and he was right.
Yeah, he ran straight to I'm not dealing with any shenanigans.
Look, clearly locked in. But of course,
have you got a favorite, Cats or Brashies? You got to choose.
I really
be careful.
Okay, yeah, I know, but I really like. Right now, I'm liking Cats.
Okay.
Because this is new for me, right? I was around in the OG like Boaster era. The Cats is new for me, and I like the combination of sassy youth and very stoic. I actually don't know if Nats is much older. They might be very close to the same age.
No, I think they're the same.
I like the sassy stoic combo. You know, it feels like a good cop, bad cop set up for a buddy film. That's how I describe it.
I'm telling Brashies you said that, by the way.
Okay, well, that's what I was afraid of. Yeah, I was afraid that there might be some snitching happening. One thing that I think we need to talk about before we get into the actual match itself and not just the personality battles off the off the server is the map pool here.
Okay.
This is something you wanted to introduce.
Yeah, I want people to hear me out here a little bit because we all know that Fnatic have a permaban. If you've recently started watching VCT, you might be thinking, why on earth do they permaban stuff? It makes no sense. You know, they're locking themselves out of a 7-map pool. But if we take a look at the golden era of Fnatic in 2023, they banned Pearl 27 times to win regionally, to win globally, to win lock-in, Tokyo, everything. And they're not afraid. They always play like this. You know, even in 2021, the only reason they stopped banning Split to go into Breeze is because Breeze came into the pool.
I was gonna say,
otherwise they wouldn't have changed.
There's like a theme. I don't know if you're seeing it here. I think Breeze, then Pearl came out,
and then Pearl again,
and then Sunset, and then Abyss,
and then Pearl again.
Icebox.
Yeah, and I want to draw your attention to when they stop perma-banning. So there's two reasons when they stop the perma-ban. One is when the map is taken out of the map pool. They don't have the ban Pearl anymore. It doesn't exist. And two is when they have something really specific prepared. And you mentioned already, Dracos, we are going to head to champs. You know, if they win today, they qualify for champs. They have to play either Corrode or Abyss. At some point, maybe at playoffs, Bear, they could probably stop the perma-ban Corrode because they don't have a choice.
I think that even after today, like your last game, you're already into playoffs. If they are to win today, they can keep it for today. If they are to win, they practically guarantee top of the group, unless something crazy happens on the last week. You never know. Like Gentlemen did the funny thing, and I think they would still be. So for them, the best thing that could happen, knowing that Abyss is coming in last week, play Corrode.
Just try it.
Why not? Just try it. Get the reps in.
Or they are just perma-banning Corrode and playing Abyss.
One
or the other.
Honestly, the perma-ban makes me nervous, because what if you go up against a different team who has a different perma-ban and is like really bad at Corrode? Are you just going to give them a freebie?
Yes, they've been doing this since 2021.
That's the thing. I think that they're too used to it. But if we take a look at the other side, we find a Team Liquid that has been literally testing for the entirety of stage 2. Having them a little bit more of a break, we see some weird things, right? So in the first week against Koi, they decided to ban Haven and pick the bind. An amazing bind, by the way. Then on the second week, they change it and they go onto Icebox. Peeking onto Sunset, like we see, they're not scared of playing the Corrode, because you could think on week 1, new map, anything could happen. You're likely to win, so it could be a surprise. Koi bans it, they're not scared to play it. They play it, they win it. And then on week 3, they go from this score to banning Sunset. Who does that? Team Liquid.
In fairness, it is the only map that Apex was good at, so I just think
but that's the thing.
It's
like,
a smart ban.
That's the two comparison between the two. Like, they do not care how strong they are. They're gonna make sure that you are uncomfortable.
Yeah, and also Fnatic, they're not a team that messes around. Like you said, even if you both have the same bans, they don't care. They will just ban it because they're very confident on the other maps that they're good at. Right now, Ascent, they're so confident on Ascent. I know they lost it recently, but they really do not care about their opponents and what their opponents are good at. They just have their own thing, and it's worked for 5 years. I do think I will be worried because we haven't seen Corrode where their Abyss was abysmal. Let's be honest.
It was a previous perma-ban,
It was abysmal.
which we're going to have to parse through that at some point.
They have to pick their poison at some point. I don't think I anticipate them doing it today because they are playing for champs.
Yeah, 100%.
But if they win today, I think 100% next week. If they ban the Corrode, I will be questioning some of their decisions.
Okay, fair. We got the kind of the full circle there. And on the side of TL, I like that they're experimenting. We'll see if that kind of pays off, shows us more depth in the pool today.
Do they ban Ascent, you think, Liquid, today? Do they ban the Ascent? I'm just excited because...
I just like that you like...
So here's the thing. To me, it's a little bit between the Icebox and the Ascent. I think that those are very good maps that have been for Fnatic, whatever they've prepared. Otherwise, like...
I'm ready. I cannot wait until we see map select here and we can actually find out what is going to happen. Hopefully a lot of new stuff, maybe a bind. TL bind last time. Remember, you were talking about 12 out of 12 plants?
12 out of 12 plants, yeah.
Very,
when I told
impressive.
Nats, he was like, oh, you can actually get that? And you know who's an absolute superstar on bind? That is Kiko. We were speaking about it in this head-to-head that we get to have again. Him versus Kayak. 2 years ago, Kiko was picked out of Apex to join as a superstar duelist. And now Kayak this year is on the same. And they're both just as amazing.
Is there even any debate at this point that Kayak is the Rookie of the Year?
It's so crazy because people at this stage, like especially after Toronto and what we've seen of him internationally, how last week he had his first negative series since March. I think it's very, very easy to say. I think that when people also had the conversation of, oh my God, has he filled Dirk's shoes? The fact that you even question that for a player to be in this position, and the fact that you still you know, have to ask yourself, it's a very good sign.
Yeah, because you're not comparing him to another rookie. You're comparing him to Dirka.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're kind of giving away already a spoiler what the answer might be to that particular question. And these are some pretty impressive numbers. Are these two going to be the difference maker in this series today? Of course, somewhat shared history, important like glow up for both of them. They've obviously both been fantastic, but like, what is the focal point? What do you think is the most important player that we're going to see on the server today?
From which side?
Either side. Most important matchup. I know matchups aren't always. I'm a league. You know, I'm too league pilled, so I talk about matchups. Matchups may not matter here. I don't know if it's smokes versus smokes, but.
So in the jungle, no.
Yeah. So as an AD carry, I guess it depends. I think that the duos that we had here were very important. I think that for Team Liquid, it has to be to me Nuts. I think it's always him. I think that he is the one that always degrains the little mistake, the gaps that could be in Fnatic, and will make sure that everybody's on check on that side.
Yeah, for me, it's Alpha. I think Alpha, when he's good, as in when he's good, like he's good in the second half, he is amazing. He is the greatest player
when he decides he's not losing,
literally in the world. But I want him to start strong, and if we do see the bind, I want to see the continuation of the util that we saw on Tejo. Yeah. We heard it from Coach Milan. He's very proud of the way that Alpha stepped up to fill a gap on the team, because he is a team player in the end of the day, despite some of his play style.
Sometimes he doesn't need it.
And honestly, I was in the sort of bank of this is a one and done, but they've done it twice now. Will they do it again 3 times, Tejo?
I mean, if they are to keep that corrode permaban, they have to know that bind is coming up. That is completely up to them. I think that it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't know if it's going to work super long term. But I think that if Alpha is comfortable enough to be playing it and to be having those kind of plays, is so niche. It is going to be very difficult for Team Liquid to even prac against something that is similar.
Who else are they even going to play against this in practice? Probably absolutely no one.
Can you imagine just booking a prac against the team and be like, hey, can you play this comp? Can you play this comp, please?
And you can let me know. Like, Teo was obviously really strong for a long time and got nerfed. In the meta area, strong. Bind wasn't in the rotation, right? Because Bind just came back.
It was for the beginning, but it was for a brief period of time.
Call out Baby Bake. Come here, get a yeah. Sorry.
I love the out-of-pocket Baby Bake. If we do not say it
once a day.
We love you, Baby Bake.
All right, it feels like it's time to get ready. This is, of course, a pivotal matchup. If Fnatic win, they will lock champs. The battle at the top of the table. Let's get ready for TL versus Fnatic. And now, finally, we get to see the maps. Bind. Bind is the dream, bind is the wish, the hope, as one last huddle comes through for each respective side. Again, it's a battle at the top of the table, so there are no elimination stakes, but a bit of pride on the line, and certainly, okay.
Well, the permaban is gone. Yeah. They went back to their previous permaban.
So this is the good thing about having a permaban, and is that the team that you play up against is going to, play under that, like in their heads when they're prepping for this week, knowing that you're one of the strongest teams in the region. They expect that corrode to be out. So it is not the initial plan. Team Liquid probably came into today thinking it is bind. Yeah. It would have been crazier if Fnatic would have banned the bind. Then Team Liquid would have been like,
what do we do? What I also love is Fnatic, obviously they were Team B, so they had the choice of going to Lotus or corrode. And not only are they not banning corode, they want to play corode.
Now we only need to get there. Now we only need to get there. It is so good because, again, we were saying Abyss is going to go back into the pool. Maybe this is a cue into them potentially banning Abyss again when it's back into the pool. And I think both stances are correct. if you want to practice Corrode and you want to get your reps in, maybe playing it just against Apex is not enough. It must be ready also for playoffs. And going into playoffs, thinking that Fnatic could be the team to now not even have a permaban only makes it more scary. And playing it against a team like Team Liquid could be an absolute dream for them.
You know what it's like though. They're going to play it, they're going to lose, and they're going to go back to permabanning it like they do on Sunset.
I mean,
yo, what are they going to play? Oh, Chamber Alpha?
Yes! Oh my god.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. We first need to get...
Yeah, let's talk about
make it
Bind.
to map 3.
Yeah, let's talk about Bind because I was firmly in the camp of it was a 1 and done, maybe a 2 and done. At this point, who's that for, Boaster? Who's that for? Go on, can we be more... Okay. Crashies is on the other side of him, so I have no idea who that could have been aimed at. But with this Bind, again, if we bring out the Alpha Tejo again at this point, Liquid, they like to do their homework, you know, they've got some very strategic, counter-heavy people on the team and behind the stage as well. They might have an answer.
I didn't see. Who started on the attack?
I believe it was Fnatic picked defense. So Liquid starting in the attack, I think.
Yeah. Fnatic picked the defense, so Liquid is starting on the attack. As we were saying, Drake, I was like, we know the Team Liquid getting the spike down, playing very old-fashioned Bind. When you have someone like this man on your screen, on your team, that has to be something that you're very, very comfortable with. So let's take a look at that tempo. Let's take a look how they're able to shut down Camo, to shut down the execution for the side of Team Liquid, because they should know that they're going to put most of their impact into just playing for the post plant.
Yeah, that's also Alpha's weak side as well. You know, his util not the scariest. You know, not exactly Trent out there on the defense on this map. I think a lot of the times in the past, the B side had definite gaps that shouldn't be there. I know sometimes boasters are giving away unnecessary deaths backside as well, so they can definitely just abuse B.
I think that the B long has to be one of the bigger questions that we have. We know there's some early contest at the beginning of the round. To see who's going to take control over that, and I think that we're going to see a lot of clashes there. So I also need Boaster to... Oh, that was a cute picture.
Me and who? Yeah, you and I.
Yeah, you and I. I want him to show up. I want some new tech with the Astra, with him playing on this agent, one of his best agent probably. I think that he should be able to make a difference here today.
Yeah, and looking at the rest of the maps too, right? Because so often you hear Alpha say it's a make or break. If he's Sentinel jailed, he has less of a good time. He doesn't want to be playing Killjoy for 3 maps in a row. Same for the other side as well. We're going to get some Kiko camo, very explosive Kiko camo stuff, as to be expected.
Yeah, Patitech with the Sky, Trex with the Gecko. I think that those two, of course, are also going to be very, very important. Very good to have Trex with that recurrent utility. When we're speaking about the plants and getting the spike down, we're looking at Wingman, of course, just across onto the map. I think that's something that we just saw from BBL versus Vitality, is how BBL had the timing of the Wingman very well cut up, and they were trying to prevent that plant from happening. I think that is also going to be key for today.
Yes, my goodness, Chronicle was a menace last week. He single-handedly, I think, kept them in a lot of those rounds, and we get Chron versus Nats on Viper in 2025. Honestly, the Gambit fangirl in me is bleeding. It is a full bleeding.
This is going to be an absolute banger, friends. I'm ready for it, and I had a really great point that I no longer will get to say. It's time to send it over to our casters, Mitch Mann and Tom Biz.
Thank you, Dracos, and our wonderful analyst desk. It's time to kick this matchup off. We've got Team Liquid and Fnatic. And as Sue said towards the end there, Nats versus Chronicle, both on the Vipers as well. What a treat this is about to be.
Well, that sort of is this game in general, isn't it? It's the storylines. There's so much history between these two, but you kind of want to lean into who's in form at the moment, and that's why I'm looking at Nats and Alfia. These two were incredible over the last couple of weeks. I think that Alfia has been back in that sort of top form, switching up his agent pool all the way through, and Nats, while leading the team, is still running at that 231 ACS. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top today, but as it was mentioned on that desk, it really is a scenario where you have those Vipers kicking off, and I think that you in particular, you see Nats on Viper and you see Chronicle on Bind. It brings back some memories.
Absolutely, yes. The good old days, rolling back the years, but now they're on opposite sides. It's going to be very interesting. Nats last week was 10-1 in opening duels. Maybe here he'll be the last man to fall. First one will be Chronicle. He's already lost his duel. As a crunch comes in from Fnatic, they go through the teleporter and out of the round. An almost immediate shutdown from Team Liquid as they're ready and waiting when the doors fly open and Crashies is left all alone.
Yeah, it seemed like Fnatic had a good read on what their opponents were going to attempt. The TP used early, but it was the reaction instead from Liquid that comes out on top. And while Crashies, the lone American within a sea of EMEA, an awful lot to attempt in this round, of course. Ultimate Orbs would be nice. I don't know if he's going to get given much. And in fact, it is the long-range frenzy of Camo that will convert his triple. Another orb for him already onto the board, and Liquid off with a flying start.
Okay, that's a huge round for Camo. 3 pickups. Managing to get himself, I believe, the plant as well. Or was the orb? And both, actually. Now he's going to be sitting just 3 away from the showstopper coming into the next round. A chance to have that online for Fnatic's first full buy. And we know how quickly a round can fly out of control once that rocket comes your way. This is going to be something we see a lot as well. Nats sat outside the A site, that same Viper wall that we know him for, the Nats wall. It's going to cause problems deep into the round, give the option to rotate back, especially with that teleporter outside B long, but Liquid, for now at least, making a lot of noise, making it seem like they're going to take it very direct. It all depends on what this man's able to find.
Yeah, it always makes me a little bit nervous seeing one player lurking with such a high-value weapon. And you consider there's a couple of players with light shields. If it went into enemy hands, that would be a problem. But luckily, the hands it's in are pretty safe. Boaster's done well, though. Jumping out of Hookah, has already managed to find one. Of course, the plant in their favor will make things incredibly difficult. But Alfie is so patient. It's not the prettiest of fights, but another going their way. The death toll starting to become a problem. And actually, already seeing Chronicle onto that defuse. There needs to be someone there to try and stop him, as somehow they're going to make that pay save card Drifty work. Right back on the board of Fnatic.
An immediate response. They only lose players. They're first dead after the round's even been won. Nat's lurking over there, and if he had a better weapon, I think he still would have lost that fight. Alpha filling in the space perfectly, waiting for that rotation. But it's the flood in on the B side. It's Boaster with a classic. That's a hell of an answer back from Fnatic.
Classic jumping out of Hookah that somehow wins a battle versus a rifle. They could have definitely got to be a little bit flustered after that one. It's early days in the series, but of course this is their map choice. Corrode was probably a huge surprise. And speaking of surprises, Boaster's stuck placing his stars in, I would say, a very unorthodox position.
Yeah, unorthodox being used here as a synonym for the word bad. Not sure what was going on there. Free space taken, an easy pickup, and after a phenomenal round jumping out of Hookah in the previous, he's had a bit of a blunder here. Still, that weapon down on the side of Fnatic. They've got plenty more to work with than a good read. I was waiting to see this rotation. It's the deep push from Kayak, the quick rotate over from the rest of the members. There'll be 3 on this A site, ready and waiting for the push, but still 2 weapons for Team Liquid and a showstopper fired through to take that space. It's going to be respected as Fnatic fall back.
It's sort of respected. I'm looking where Alfia is on the edge of the smoke. It makes me a little bit nervous, but there wasn't any reason to fire it in that direction. Just like the last round, there's a serious advantage. And while Kayak, yeah, he's being watched, but this fight is everything. Trek's going down. That's one of the guns on the deck and leaves only the other in the hands of Patatek. You can see he's looking to try and find that flanker, but instead, all of the showers are going to be cleared out. They'll know roughly where they are and start to deal with them easily.
I like the idea to go a little bit more aggressive, go in for the disruptive play with the classics, but they've lost the fights now. It makes it much easier to deal with. Kiko finding window, Patatek on another, a flash primed and ready, but up close is Alphayer dealing with the second as well. It's a good recovery on what would have been a horrible fumble early on. Fnatic will take the lead.
Yeah, you can see it. Both of these rounds have had, well, definitely the last one had a lot of fight, but this had a bit of fight to it considering the weaknesses for the side of Liquid. The main thing was that fight being fought from behind. Kayak's first kill is a high impact one. It put a lot of doubts in the mind of Liquid and more importantly, lost them the gun. But they will now come back with a buy of their own. Of course, with all those additional credits, that means that Kayak does have himself the operator on the board very early on in this game.
Another thing, the showstopper from Camo being used in the previous, them not finding the round off the back of it. They had their 2 rifles, they had a chance. They had even one more rifle there. It could have been a completely different game. The lead for them and the economy in the bin, but Fnatic, they bounce back into it. This is their chance, the advantage of the operator. The spam from Paddy though. Poster, I'll blame you for last round going down, but this one I can't fault for. That is unlucky.
It's always difficult as well. Like a lot of the time when you have this Astra in play, it's that global utility. You can see where the stars were placed with supportive utility set up to try and help out Kayak if he needed to escape. That's gone. Instead, the Seekers are going to be used in towards that B site. As whether or not they push off of it, they may now.
The Chronicle fell back and gave the space. It means Alpha has to retreat. He has no way out through spawn. Couldn't cross the site, so he's now stuck inside of Hookah and wary of a late play coming up from short. A lot of space here for Liquid. They're fighting into elbow. They're keeping these players back. Here comes Kayak to help out. Now they can try this 2-pronged approach, and the operator's going to find it very hard to find value. And as you're highlighting, Tom, that lurk that they were worried about, well, it is coming in late, very late, in fact, but that is the perfect recipe for Fnatic's disaster. But Nats is being caught. Alpha checked his back. Low HP on the final 2, though, and Camo and Trex get it across the line.
Fnatic were at least very careful in that late round position, but it means that they weren't focused enough on taking down the players on the site. Liquid with a good hold in the end, and yeah, that opening pick is just nasty. Fnatic looking good in these opening rounds. Currently 7-2 on the board. But we have to set some expectations. Obviously, from what we've seen so far, last week it was a very dominant attack side coming out from Liquid, and the same could be said for Fnatic in their game versus Na'Vi. Even though the game went incredibly close, it was their attack, so if they can pull out a decent defensive half, there's definitely still a lot of potential. And we know this squad, especially now they brought the Teo in, as those post-plant kings. So I think this is definitely going to be a map of attack side halves.
Without a doubt, up he goes. Camo's got an angle on top of the site. Crashy's down, and well, he gets a little surprise of a few bullets to the abdomen, but...
Yeah, that's a Chronicle classic. That's a rifle. Just remember that.
And now it is literally...
Now it appeared, just as I...
Post-plant for Team Liquid. We talked about how strong Fnatic used to be in these as well. Now it's Liquid's turn to show us what they can do. No utility, though.
This is where Nats just farms, though. You put him in this position with a sniper, a single bullet will do the job, and he's going to immediately die after I said that. Nice. Wonderful. Well, cheers for that one, Nats. You would have hit that every other time, I'm certain. Diffuse going to be tapped, but the time is already gone. Not any hope for anything other than damage. And for Alpha, finding a gun or something would be nice. Instead, he'll just find his demise. Liquid are going to take the lead back 3-2. But once more, this is where things will get interesting with guns and ults online.
Yeah, that was a great call, Tom. Nats farms here, an immediate famine strikes, but the rest of the squad able to clean it up and get out with those 3 weapons. The teleporter helping them to quickly put distance between them and the volatile spike. 3-2. Team Liquid's lead after the pistol round back in their hands finally. But for Fnatic, they're coming up against a couple ults almost online, but theirs are already ready to go off rip at the start of the round. And on this map, you will at least get one relatively easily as the attackers. A chance to play for this TP, but in goes Kayak! It's a double! The nade in there for security to open the door early, and that has caught them right off guard.
Ah, yeah, you said one of those comes easy, but it seems like Fnatic had other ideas. Kiko's still been a menace. And Nats is still standing. They're going to look to swing this one together. Crashies will be traded out. Actually, Nats has found two. His old teammate biting the dust. And the other couple of Fnatic players are a little bit further away. Of course, for Liquid, they won't know that. They'll almost assume that that spike is being even more heavily guarded than it was just moments ago. Boaster's actually sneaking his way back into Lamps. And they might expect this to be a little bit more clear. Timing for Paditek is going to be everything, and it is perfect. That Viper's Pit worked as a distraction, but Alpha is still here. And with his ultimate online, there's not a whole lot of places you can stand.
At least bought a moment there. Nats spotted too. Alpha knows now that Nats is looking for the kill. There goes the next tap, and he's already outside of that ultimate range. Plant comes in, but Alpha knows that he must be in that area. It was the only space left open. And a spam that gets him the round. I thought that could have been disastrous, because it seems like in so many of these rounds, Paditek has Boaster's number. Sometimes just through the smoke at random, but right there, that, well, starting with the TP from Kayak, but the ult used as a distraction was beautiful.
Yeah, very intelligent Red Bull cards from Alpha. Yeah. Just basically forming an angle that Nats had to sit in, like using the drone initially, forcing him to move so that you're not going to stay in the same place, pulling him out further, then the Armageddon creating a very small gap that he can sit within the pit, and the second he plants, Alpha realizes, well, I've already boxed off everywhere else, he has to be sitting here. Smart stuff. That will be a scoreline equalized. A close round though, and looking at the extra credits for either side, this round ends up being everything.
They can invest a lot. We've already seen Thrash thrown in from Trex. There's an orbital strike if they can grab some info. Down goes the Viper's Pit, and a jump over the rocket! Camo's blast pack keeps him alive! It's an explosive start for Team Liquid, but they've lost Nats. Camo low with the decay. The health will slowly creep back up, but these players, they're gonna have to go back and grab that spike. Even a quick TP off the cards, and Fnatic have fully rotated in. The other thing is, that pit was there. They know that Chronicle's likely around Lamps. The thing is, he doesn't really have the weapon to go challenging them with the judge in hand, but if they come in and challenge him, it seems like Paditek's toying with the idea of this could be a disaster.
The only thing will be is if Liquid TP. That's the one sort of thing that's actually saving them, is the other side of the map. Well, okay, the challenge somehow worked out. Damage coming through, Kiko swings and brings it back into a 2v2, and Camo adds another to the death toll. Now he has a chance at a showstopper, but hitting this will not be easy. Boaster even risking the spam, baiting him into firing that rocket, and it won't land a single point of damage, but Paditek, you mentioned it, he's had his number all game long.
Yeah, another one added to the tally. Paditek's got to feel like he's just got one up on the IGL on the other side. That was wonderful.
No, New Kid would be proud of that one.
Without a doubt. Wouldn't be able to show his player cam afterwards. That was a really nice reaction. Realizing that he was in danger, Camo insta blast packs, dodges the rocket, takes down the Rocketeer, and from there gives Team Liquid a chance. 4-3 now. Rounds going back and forth, but Fnatic very limited in their ability to challenge for this one.
Yeah.
Their credits are low.
Oh, it's the Polish contingency of the Liquid side that has been taking over this one so far. Camo and Paditek have been on fire. Kayak having a moment or two, but I think there's definitely more to come. Seekers, well, none of them going back in the other direction. That's immediate alarm bells, even though you don't get the information on every player. It's enough for Liquid to make an educated guess. They're still being careful. Tiger going to the back of site. Little Bro being sent out to make sure nobody can die while planting. But from this point onwards, well, unless we're getting a similar scenario to the early rounds, it should be very easy.
Camo on top of the totem pole is a little obvious at this point, but he still gets one before going down. If that's the only loss Team Liquid leave here with, this is going to be a hugely successful round, and you can see it's only Classics that they're up against. An easy cleanup to close out this round here and put Team Liquid up to 5. A 2-round gap between these teams now. The attack side certainly looking to have their hands firmly wrapped around the reins early on.
This is it's going to be an early pause as well. Well, actually not that early. 5-3, but it's been a back and forth that now Liquid seem to be coming out on top of. I think that's one of the fun things with this series is that a lot of the time when you look at teams that are yet to lose, especially going into the last couple of weeks, you'll sit there and go, okay, they've just been better than everybody else by a considerable margin. But you go back to the prior weeks and Liquid losing a map to Apex and Koi, both teams that are already obviously out of there. A very close game for Fnatic last week as well. It feels like both of these teams can bleed. But at the same time, I think it's very tricky to talk about who comes in as favorites. I think maybe based on just having the roster together for slightly longer, I'd go the way of Fnatic and of course their current international escapades. But I will say that makes me very excited for Liquid in the sense of Trex won't be anywhere near the peak of what he can be in this team. If they get him there, they could be a contender going into champs, like genuinely. This guy is incredibly good.
Now that's not that surprising of a stat. Nat's the best performing IGL in the world, putting up 235 ACS this stage. Valen being second. He's only a little bit behind.
You do have to say that Valen is having to carry Baby Bay. So like there is that.
Well listen, it's his fault because he hasn't put Baby Bay on the Phoenix. Then we'll see his true power unleashed.
Yeah, then Baby Bay will cut. I can't even say it. The guy they carry. He'll carry. Nonetheless, Kayak. He's taken down that high-performing IGL. Won't be the opener that should make things that little bit tougher, getting rid of that Viper Scream, which a lot of the time will put opponents into disarray.
2-round gap. Nat's down already. We talked about his opening duels, and he's lost his life, but so is Chronicle. Down goes that screen. It's only containing the bath control, and they have flooded firmly through short. Camo with another poster, toying with the idea of swinging wide, and he'll get the kill. He's taking Camo down. That's put the numbers back to even Stevens, and we've got a Cosmic Divide potentially to come in here, block out that short player. Although and there it is, but Patatek got him, well, it's actually blocking out most of the teams. Patatek's got himself that guiding light, the Sky Flash, to play right through.
Out of charges.
The Molly used here to contain that space. They now know there's no one coming behind them and decide to fight forward. Trex went on his own. I thought they'd go together, perhaps off the Sky Flash, but it's fragmented. It's individual duels that they're searching for, and so far back and forth till Alpha has his say. Fnatic winning that one out, but you have to think the Team Liquid, they gave a few opportunities there. Oh, that looked chaotic.
Yeah, it was very, very scrappy. A back and forth early on, which seems to be a story of a lot of these rounds. But yeah, I guess with having that Molly initially put through, they went, well, the surprise factor here would be if we go through as well. They used the other Molly to make sure they couldn't get flanked. But I do agree, if you have both of those online on the spike, I feel like there was very little that Fnatic would be able to do.
I'll tell you what, our third-person observer, Jack Igo's looking at that. He'll have some notes for the Sky player. If he just started singing Maroon 5 and popped that flash through, it would have been a completely different game.
He'll do that in post.
He always does.
5-4. Liquid still hold on to the lead, but more importantly, they still hold on to the economy, at least for this round. There's a few pieces missing for Fnatic, although at times those Guardians have never really been a vulnerability. And this mid-fight has been so interesting. We've seen it from Kayak, we've now seen it from Alpha. It's almost just disrespect on the swing. Trex is gone, and more importantly, so is the Thrash.
Yeah, that's a big blow dealt to Team Liquid. This could have gotten them a lot of space for free. Instead, they'll have to brawl for it. Towards the B side is the decision, but the rotates come in. The man who took the opening duel on A short not that long ago is now embedded on this B site and ready for a fight. Alphier, Boaster, and Crashies standing by as the blast pack comes in. They definitely know where Alpha is. They saw those salvos go out, but it's Boaster. They've got to deal with Alpha playing this patiently. And with 30 seconds on the clock and the spike down, Liquid are running out of options, especially with an op for this. I mean, push into a site, dive out of hookah. You're never going to go for it.
That's unfortunate truth, but the best case for them here is to just hold on to the weaponry. And after the pause was called by Fnatic, it has been a couple of rounds in a row. Although what I'll say is a lot of what it feels from Fnatic is just being that little bit more boisterous. Just like not showing that same sort of respect to Liquid that we've seen them give earlier in the match with swings from Kayak, swings from Alpha, basically just taking those individual battles. And that has definitely worked out for them thus far.
Yeah, it has, without a doubt. Listen, don't let those stats fool you. Opening duels, it says, but if we talk about the usual first kills to first deaths, Alpha was 7-7. He was even last week coming out of it. A man that certainly likes to be involved in those early fights, and we saw that in this round. There was no utility, there was no setup. There was just Alpha with a gun and sheer willpower, and he got them that opening duel, which was one of 2 picks in the entire round. And then actually you could say the salvos got them the round in the end because it stopped anyone from pushing alongside Camo.
Already. Be looking to try and pick up the pace. Crashies did get caught by the Tiger, and well, more importantly, has been caught by Camo. He has been sublime. The trades back and forth leave us even. That has been happening almost every single round of this game. No one able to get a solid foothold. Once again, that Armageddon will be used for spacing. Patatek, he walks in front and still comes out alive.
Well, he had no choice. If he went back, he would have been killed by the Armageddon. They isolated him, but now they've been taken down one by one. Fnatic, they thought they had the right play there, but again, Patatek's bailed them out, got them that side control. And it's been a bit of a menace for Boaster. He's been hit through that smoke so many times now. That can't feel good.
Yeah, it's been a crazy performance again. It feels like the Patatek and Camo show. Sure, Kiko joined them to sort of close that one out, but in terms of those entries, in terms of the space being taken, it has been sublime. And while Camo now comes in with a showstopper, I will say it definitely hasn't been the reason for his impact thus far. Already holding on to some of that initial space as he'll go pushing through, looking to try and find someone, but they have already retreated. A quick flank, though, is already on the boards for Fnatic.
Oh, it's not exactly flying under the radar. They've spotted Alpha. The Cabbages have found him. The wraparound
didn't see
Boaster.
Boaster.
The thing is, though, they saw a player. They don't know that player is still in that position, so they are looking right now for someone being around here, going for that sneaky flank. And Kiko, he's turned away at just the wrong moment. It's a freebie for Boaster. Chronicles picked up Camo with a stinger in hand. They now think that Boaster's the one flanking. Alpha shows his hand and has a chance to divide this push. They come in from inside, but Ness goes past through the orb. Sneaky around his own utility. Alpha in there for the double as the clock runs dry. The round is already done. Unbelievable stuff from Nats. He disrupted them completely.
This will be something that just Nats will do until the end of time. Put his Viper Wall down, make plays around it, and just cause confusion for the opposing side. It is still a close half at the end of the day, though, and now Fnatic will head into the attack after the break.
One enemy remaining. 3 down.
Welcome back, folks. 7-5 to Team Liquid. They won the pistol round, but there was a little bit of a stumble at the start of the half, but they firmly grabbed control coming out of that. 5 rounds on the defense. Fnatic moved to the attack. Is that enough, Tom?
Yeah, definitely. I think both these teams have showed their sort of prowess when it comes in onto their attack side. And well, there you go, 100% of their 13 post-plants at this stage, the highest win rate. They are looking very, very good. And I think we think back to Bind, even all the way back to early Fnatic, they have always been the ratty post-plant kings.
Yeah, and as you said, starting out this map, when you look at the inclusion of Tejo on Alpha Air, or Alpha Air on Tejo, whichever way you want to look at it, this is only going to add to the pain points that you have with, well, I was going to start naming with everybody that they have in play. This entire composition, even if there's 2 players left alive, it doesn't matter what 2. You could have a nightmare trying to defuse that spike. For Team Liquid, that will be something that they have to deal with if, I suppose when, they allow Fnatic onto the site. For now, a very, very passive look. This is 3 players stacked up on A. They're not even looking for the information. They're playing backside together, allowing that initial burst of utility to come in, and they will then fight afterwards. I like this approach from Liquid, especially, as we said, Fnatic have a lot of that oppressive utility, not just for post plants.
Yeah, the difference, though, is that Liquid have always had a lot for delay. They have the double initiator that gets in the info, and then they have that double controller. Fnatic have managed to wait a lot of that out, but even just looking at the denial, that's the whole goal. Deny them the plant, and well, so far so good, but it's the trade back and forth. Boaster and Alpha. No post plants to be had this time, as it will be an immediate fight from Camo. He's trying to deny. And well, they already heard the teleport used from Kiko. They're going to have a rough idea where he's coming from.
No utility for Fnatic. The later rounds, they'll have full belts, and that's where the big problems start to rear their ugly heads. For Kiko, this will be the easiest of them, but he's still got 2 to take down. Alpha on 10 HP, but no information on where these players might be hiding. And in fact, I said no utility. 1 star was refreshing. They just place it down, knowing he'll be looking for a fight, and he does get one. Even with 10 HP, Alpha's able to win that. I love Liquid's approach. They lose the round, sure. The fights don't even go that well, but using their own poison orb, going inside it, and having a Sky and a Gecko flash out, those players are blind as can be. The only downside is they weren't as deep into the site as Liquid hoped they were.
Well, maybe it's just a special day for Fnatic, because I'm pretty certain those credentials are going to be changing throughout this. He did play for a few rotter teams here and there as well, so that probably didn't help him out. He's on a good one now, though.
Yeah, that old Heretics lineup, they were...
Yeah. I like their coach, though.
Yeah, Neil's great. I love Neil. You're out there.
7-6. The lead likely to dissipate. That salvo is just rude. He put that just onto the orb just to try and stop them taking it. And, well, look, he got there in the end, Althea. It's a 1 salvo for 2 orb trade, and he might even get a 3rd one. Really building towards that early Armageddon. And honestly, there's no one else on this side of the map, so he should have that orb.
No, like that approach. You want an orb? I'll give it, yeah. Death, they find their reward. Boaster, yeah, he's not going to take that much of a risk. Backing off. I like this. We're in a 5v3 for Team Liquid. The only way they get a chance back into this is big individual mistakes, big weapons being handed over. And, of course, you're seeing the scope on Boaster. It's not an outlaw, as we saw in that first round from Nats. The second round from Nats. If he has it first, we'd have a major problem. It is a Marshall, so even that going into...
Do you think they know he's there?
Not that big of a deal. They might know he's there.
Nats hit that from afar. I don't like that they're getting this much out of it. Obviously, the main weaponry is still in their hands. I think Boaster, he's going to upgrade very slightly to a Stinger. I'm off of Paditech. He's just going to chill.
Sending his final farewell. 7-7. Tied up now. The expected result after Fnatic find that pistol. A bit of damage in this round, sure, but reinvestment definitely possible with those lower investments that they had. I think they've lost, what, a Sheriff or a Demon. They probably recovered that. And, of course, the
Marshall.
But all in all, my eye is drawn to this. 1 away, from that ultimate for Alpha here. He may have gone down, but it was still worth it.
But yeah, he's playing insane. 19-7. Currently a tied game in which, interestingly, they've lost 7 rounds. For now, at least, Liquid.
Poison's off.
A lot of the information is going to come off the back of the Sky Flash. Of course, in the past, it was something that would regenerate. You get more bites of the cherry. Now it comes down to timing. When Panatek believes that he will get the most value out of it. But for Fnatic, they're very happy to be in this slow, passive round. They want to bait out those smokes. They want to make sure that Kiko's not going to have much left to play with. They want to try and remove some of those flashes from the likes of Trex. Make things tougher. And well, more importantly, they wanted to get that Armageddon. I'm definitely a little bit nervous for Camo, though. If he takes a step back, he might lose his life.
You just saw a deep flash come down here from Patty. They cleared this space. Rotation can already take place. 3 players towards that A site. Kiko a little hesitant to leave. He could obviously be inside hookah, but with this utility going in, he'll be on his way soon.
All missiles away.
Fnatic got their space on site, but the plan will be hard to come by. Ult used now to claim them that space, and it's Boaster and Chronicle doubling up together. They've locked them out, and Alpha's even gotten a little more, catching an angle onto Trex. He was looking towards the site, wondering if he could disrupt the plant, catch a player overextending, and, well, it is Kiko that ends up doing that. 2v3.
He's given them a small chance. They're going to get stunned up by Alpha here, though. And that little bit of additional delay could be enough to cause them problems. Late start going down as well. I think that's enough to deter Liquid for any further attempts. It's a fantastic execution coming out of Fnatic that ends up setting up. And I want to give credit as well to Crashies with the Haunt. While all of that was going on, you're forced to move by the Armageddon. He throws a Haunt into the backline that just reveals someone and they're instantly dead. There's nowhere for them to go. Clever stuff, as always, when it comes to the attack side of Fnatic. And they now reclaim the lead once again.
It is the sort of thing that you'll see.
There you go. Look how easy that is for Chronicle.
Easy peasy, yeah, and you'll see this many times in like a ranked game. You throw in a Haunt and they just break it instantly, but it's all about overwhelming them, drawing their attention elsewhere, combining that utility in the chaos to throw your opponents off. 8-7, a 1-round gap now, but that round for Fnatic sets them up for success.
And this is something we want to talk about, of course, for anybody who doesn't know, Fnatic winning this matchup will send them to Champions. That is job done, although they might like a slightly higher seeding. It's always nice, but these are the players who have made it to those global events the most. Of course, I don't think you're surprised at all with the top 4 being Fnatic and ex-Fnatic, but Nats is, of course, up there as well, leading the way. And the guys from Foot, I'm sure, were wanting to try and get themselves into that playoff stage so they can battle for it. But of course, Champions is that event that everybody is looking to get to, is the goal of every organization. And for these 2 teams, well, I think we would be hard done by if they're not both there. If we're being brutally honest, especially with the points and the chance of like, okay, even though I think it's Fnatic and Heretics who have the most points, are they both not going to make it top 2? And so, the chance of that happening are very slim. So I'd say Liquid are still in a very strong position, but a win here, it's not guaranteed, but it's very close.
Always brings a smile to my face seeing a graphic like that. EMEA players at international events and then seeing Les included on the list. He's ours now.
He is. We've stolen him.
We've taken him. They're going to claim John QT. Claim Les.
You know, he's technically has been to 1 with an EMEA
there we
team.
Go.
Let's ignore the rest of them, though.
Yeah, mostly.
Bring them down.
There is a little bit of danger. 2 saved weapons, and that double flash is impossible to dodge. You can only shoot 1 of those flashes, and well, it doesn't seem to matter. They were blind for a moment, but you're not blind forever, unfortunately.
Yeah, that vision does return. And as you can see, it is with deadly consequences for Team Liquid pushing in that little bit late. And also the players that were safe from the flash initially. I think at least one of them was far enough back, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Alpha here. It's not the man you want to still have vision. Plus those sunglasses might block a little bit.
Yeah, you want him to be like blind, stunned, maybe his monitor's disconnected.
With an orbital strike just smack bang in the middle of it.
Then you have a chance, especially with how in form he's been, not just this stage, but this map in particular.
I like that. Nat's walking up, but Observers are ahead of us. Crashy's ahead of Nats. Catching him on the push. Trax, well, they certainly know that he was here.
30 seconds
He's
left.
the man that threw in the flash, threw in the dizzy. He'll get a freebie. Alfier was low, didn't even need to be a headshot, but as always, Fnatic had that second layer with Chronicle further back. 9-7 now. 2-round gap, and the attack side undefeated so far. This is where that should change, and this is certainly where that has to change. Keep in mind, this is Liquid's map pick. They're now 0-4 on their defensive side, but the rifles are about to come out.
Yeah, this is a pretty scary position to be in. Of course, this was sort of your hope, especially after such a solid performance when they played versus Koi, but if Fnatic take this one heading into Ascent, they had a close victory versus Apex, but this has been a map that, sure, Fnatic could have had losses on, but they've definitely looked very good in a general sense. And with Alfia performing on this map, him going into the next one on Chamber, I'd be terrified.
I mean, my hope here is that we get to a map 3, whatever the case. I want to see that corrode from both of these teams.
I want the reveal from Fnatic. We don't know what they're playing yet.
I can share what Scott told me around the water cooler before the game. He said that he's very confident they've got the map figured out.
Okay.
That makes me excited. But
if they've got it figured out this early on, I'll be surprised. I feel like you...
Milan and Scott, you'd be surprised.
I feel like maps always end up changing massively. Look what we have on Haven right now.
No, I just didn't think you were a doubter like that.
I'm a hater of anything.
Well, that'll be clipped and shipped to them.
That's fine.
Sure of that.
We're all the same height, so I think it's an even fight.
Yes, without a doubt. I reckon you could take Milan.
Oh, here we go. Clock being run late once again. Camo is the only player really left to defend this, but his goal is to hold on to the showers more than anything. Make things tougher, but he's been forced out. The value of those salvos and the read from Alpha so far this game has been fantastic, and Camo now has to question, can I go anywhere? Well, they pushed him up, but he still managed to find 2. Impressive stuff once again, and the swing out from Kiko with a flash alongside it. Both of them combining, and now all that is left is Kayak. A solid round from the individuals on the Liquid side, and even when they were pressed and pushed, they still got the job done.
Oh, that's cruel. That's cruel.
Yeah, I like the one on the left about traveling 11 hours to be here. That's a nice sign.
Yeah, right. A little more toxic.
Okay. Nice, boys. Good job.
Just a smidge.
Nice
They're not out
Keith,
yet, though. There's no need for goodbyes. They win their game next week, and BBL beat Foot, which I'd say, of all the times they've played, this is where they're most likely to. BBL look better than ever. Foot look a little shaky. It's definitely not over for Vitality, but it is in question. These two teams, this map certainly not over, as we're 1 round away from equalizing, with Team Liquid having a great round in the previous. Camo and Kiko firing on all cylinders.
Look at the ults as well.
Yeah, exactly. 1 away from Orbital Strike and Viper's Pit. Trex and Camo have theirs primed and ready to go, and it's not exactly the same flavor on the Fnatic side. Some are close, sure. It will be quite a battle to get those orbs. Team Liquid with the safety nets.
Oh, Showstopper. It's going to go through. They've all escaped. It's at least going to reclaim some ground, and it does almost force Fnatic to the other side of the map. Re-clearing this will take an awful long time after losing so much space, but they have immediately switched to going in the other direction. Bear in mind, a single kill for Kiko would be Orbital Strike, but he's not going to get a chance to use it. The fight's already coming his way, but it's just a bait. It's a bait and switch. You leave Kiko in the corner, and he just comes out swinging. He's finally put down, but the round is done.
Yeah, it certainly is. Boaster's looking to save. Oh, no, he's not. He's looking to punish. He goes in, takes Wingman down. Well, for that, Team Liquid will not let him live. He will be rightfully punished. You leave Wingman alone. 9-9. We're tied up now with Team Liquid having answers for every question mark thrown up for Fnatic. And the best part is, Tom, they didn't even use their full inventory of ultimates in that one. You mentioned Kiko getting his kills, finding that Orbital Strike. They have the Viper's Pit. They had the Thrash coming into the round. All 3 of those ultimates are still online. And for Fnatic, yes, they've got money, but they will have to contend with those in this all-important round.
Well, I love that round in general, though, because I feel like Liquid had everything set up. Like, they knew what was going to happen. They had the 2 players contacting over on long. So their goal was, okay, the second we see anyone, we use the showstopper. And then once we take all that space, either they have to fight us, which takes a lot of time, we can rotate players over, or they do exactly what they did and they retreat. And then they fall back into that bait and switch setup. And Trex played it perfectly. He gets that one kill and then goes, look at me, I've gone back into lamps. You got to track me down. And everybody else forgets that that corner could still have a player in it. Just smart stuff from Liquid that gives them a relatively easy round. And as we've said a million times, if you put someone like Kiko in a position where people aren't looking at him, they are dead.
Hell, half the time if they're in a position where they are looking at him.
That's also true.
Even the round before, you saw it. He came back in, 3 quick pickups. The round was done. That's 1-7 in matches against Fnatic. But he's 74 versus 52 against Boaster.
I'll be honest with you, I think Boaster would rather be 7-1 up in matches than caring about his head-to-head.
I don't know. He's a hard cookie to crack. I think we'll have to ask.
Not for Nats, he's not.
Well, maybe in the RGL department he is.
Sure.
Not in the head-to-head duels. Deep push. Again, we see the same tactic. The flashes coming out of the smokes for Team Liquid. They immediately fall back. That space was not being fought for by Fnatic, though. They are playing this one passive, expecting some sort of a early push from Team Liquid, an early pressure.
There.
Nightfall online and a lot close. That showstopper has now been picked up, but that's something I'm sure Liquid will be well aware of. They're trying to play ahead in terms of the information game, and they've already spotted out Chronicle. Fnatic wanting to try and fight ahead of this. Taking a few risks here and there, but I think they know with a Nightfall and a showstopper, you don't want to allow your opponent to execute.
They're so close to this. There's no way for Camo to survive that. He tries the blast pack trick, but they're wise to it this time. Kayak taken down. Trex won't get out, though. That's done perfect from Alpha. He's stuck.
30 seconds left.
In comes the orbital strike, but Chronicle finds a kill around it. Panatek falling, puts pressure on Kiko. He's delivered 2 rounds in a row, but this, a much bigger task. An easy pickup onto Crashies. That Snakebite falling puts pressure on him. It's still a 2 versus 3. That Viper's Pit can be traded out. Chronicle and Nats both having theirs. But you look at the position of Chronicle, he won't be in a position to counter it. That's a good reaction from Nats. This ult gives them a leg up. It puts the pressure on Fnatic. They now have to fight back into this or risk it on the spams, but the Snakebite goes through, forces him out of position, gets the kill for Boaster, and Alpha's all too keen to clean up double digits for Fnatic. Some of the dangers from Team Liquid used. Still that Thrash left.
Yeah, this is exactly what Liquid were hoping to avoid by being in more aggressive positions. They didn't want to allow Fnatic to get into those post plants, because you can even just see how long Chronicle holds onto that Snakebite. He's just waiting until the very last moment, the second they're onto the site, and then, what, you know that that's in position, you know they can't be defusing anymore, so that's where the spams come through. It's just so good at knowing their angles and positions in those post-plant scenarios that they're very tough to play against. And that's where I will give credit to Liquid so far in this second half. They have done well to play ahead of it and not allow them to get into those spots.
Yeah, and they tried to here. We saw that B-long push, as you said. We saw them get a little aggressive inside of Hookah, but ultimately that was their downfall with Kayak striking with a great stun from Alpha. Round fell apart. Prowler catches Panatek, that forces him back. Fnatic again, no, they've got that control, but it's not for free. Paddy comes back to make them pay a heavy price indeed. Boaster's down to 18 HP. Nades come through. He's under a lot of pressure. He walked back into it. He almost died to that nade. But he's still surviving on 7, so they'll keep their smokes for now.
Yeah, Camo is sent it. Because of that, the advantage has diminished. Armageddon has been used to at least try and force someone into the waiting arms of Chronicle and maybe allow them to get out onto this site, but players are now ahead of that Cosmic Divide. Snakebite
30 seconds
also
left.
thrown in as well. They are starting to run out of time, and Nats still here on the cross. It's only going to be the one, though, and that was the low HP Boaster. The Tiger will stun someone up, but getting in onto this is definitely not going to be easy. Even still, though, the time is on Liquid side. 15 seconds left for them to try and plant, but Chronicle has done a good job to hold the line.
Oh, they know exactly where Trex is as well. Alpha immediately spinning after that kill on the Panatek. Yeah, we saw that snake bite come through from Chronicle outside of Hookah. They expected Patatek was still going to be up close, but Liquid, they played it wisely. They said, use your util, dump it in, we'll play back. We won't be isolated. But in the end, Chronicle being in that position to cover that plan, saved the day, and Alpha's quick reactions on the double sealed the deal.
Well, this is the final pause of regulation. Both teams have been back and forth throughout. And I will say, I think this is both times now that Fnatic have taken a pause. They have won, I think it's 2 rounds, straight off the bat of it. They have definitely been impactful, what is being spotted by the coaching staff. However, that is what you get when you have the 2 top teams within this group at least. Heretics will definitely be in with an argument if you're talking overall, but either way, we know they're both up there. But Fnatic, now 2 away from taking their opponent's map choice and heading into a Ascent where I think most people will have them favored. This is definitely a dangerous looking scenario now for Team Liquid.
Yeah, for Fnatic, Alpha Year 27-10. In this world of chaos that we've seen.
This is such a stupid toast. I like your luck, Captain Cal, but I hate this
the
toast.
best Tahoe in this stage. Wow.
That's crazy.
What an accolade to have.
To be fair, I
didn't read the last line. I'm sure it wasn't relevant.
I don't think it would matter either way with the way he's playing right now. I think he'd still be the best.
Yeah. I mean, his utility has been great. His ults have been great. His information gathering up there as well. But just him as an individual right now, he is dominant. As I was saying, in this world of chaos, he is the calm, the steady, the safe pair of hands every time they need him. We saw it in the end of the last round. And look where that's left Team Liquid. Weaknesses across the board. It's a dicey investment for them. They've got a rifle on Patty, but the rest saving up some credits for the next and what could be the last.
Yeah, I think he's going for the accolade of highest statistical sentinel, duelist, and initiator. Smoke's coming soon.
That's going to be hard to fit the trophy.
Sure, why not? Camo, up close. He is being tagged away, though. He hasn't yet been spotted, but he is just taking more and more damage, and eventually, well, he's found Alpha here. Worthy trade. Even going to pick up a gun, but immediately hits the deck after that. And while Panitek did have the one rifle they started the round with, but once again, you feel like the second this spike is down, it feels like the round's already over.
Dangerous Kiko, oh, as he's got the judge, and they've walked right into him. The round not over yet. In the darkness, that's where even a glimmer of hope can shine so bright. The guiding light leads the way, but Kiko is the one to fall. And now Panatek has to recover the 1v2. His teammate did it. He found a double, but time is against Patty. He knows there's a player in the corner. The blast pack used to push him off. And a 3K from Kayak seals 12 in for Fnatic. 3 chances to close out their opponent's map pick.
Yeah, as we said, the attack sides from both of these teams is where you expected to see a large share of the rounds. And although Liquid did manage a 7-5 first half, it has been a very different story.
Bro? These guys in smoke going short, bro. And I died, I'm the last.
I think it's 27-11, you know? It's fine.
He is right, though. He's the last man in, and the guy's in the smoke. It's gotta be frustrating.
The funniest thing is, I think seconds before, Crashy had put a Prowler through, and it didn't hit him.
Yeah, he snuck through. I mean, you don't expect him to stand in a snake bite. I'll give him that, but...
Ults now, only really Chronicles. Crashy's is close, and for the opposing side, they're not going to likely have one this round unless Patatek or Kiko are able to get a double. Fnatic's pace is always difficult to play against. You want to deny them in those post plants, but the fact is they are so slow across the map that you're starved of information. Even with the double initiator, they'll at least have a rough idea where they are right now.
My ult is ready.
No flashes left for Patatek. He investments being deep in this round. The Util's the one that suffers, but Boaster, the one that really pays the price. He's been dropped towards that A site, but the push was always coming in here on B, and it's Nats through the smoke to drop Alpha. There's still credits for the next. There's ults powering up. Oh, but it's not over yet. I'm already thinking about round 23, but getting there is all on the back of Liquid. Kiko, he's been so reliable. He'll be needed again, but alongside Camo, it seems like they've got this one under wraps. 12 to 10 at least. They'll get one more round.
It does feel like that, doesn't it? Every single round, there's a moment where it seems like either side can turn it on its head, and a quick double in the mid there made it interesting, but with the full rotation of their squad already in position. And
nice
a stellar
flash.
start.
Nice flash, Nikita. Good job, boys. Nice bunker.
The difference now goes down to just 2. As I said, the coaches are out until overtime. They can only watch on as their squads play.
Blinded.
Already a little bit of information. I think it's for Padatek. It lets him know that someone's there, but not a whole lot he can do about it right now.
Big rotation from Fnatic, but it's going to be the same play as last round. Less focused on long, more towards Suka. They think that's where the problem lay. Boaster playing slower outside of bathroom. Maybe just keeping the option open for them. They've now got hookah control, go back towards long, put this pressure on, draw the rotates. Boaster very slowly eking forward on that angle. I think they might look to TP, but Kayak ain't gonna be with them. He's been hard punished.
Annoyingly though for Liquid, Padatek going down takes away the Seekers that they earned just moments ago. Now the Spike starts a rotation back to the A side of the map. There is, however, still Camo here. This could just be a ruse, though. I think this could just be sent in to try and sell the idea, but instead it seems like they're going to continue this push. Now the TP comes through, but I feel like Alpha has to be patient because he can't afford to go down.
Boaster's worried about that spam through the smoke after the game he's had. I'm not surprised, but there's a player on the side who's caught him off. Camo running in deep to take down Crashies, leaves Alpha alone, and I like the idea from Fnatic here, but as soon as that drone went through from Alpha Air, the read was made. Liquid ran it back with Trex. They had that 2-man hold, and now time is going to cost them the round, if not the shot of Camo to do it instead. 12 to 11, 1 round left. Overtime could be on the cards here.
Oh, it should be. The buy coming in for Fnatic absolutely sucks. They have completely run out of credits. They put everything into that round. And okay, sure, they do have ultimates to play with that will likely help them at least a little bit, but that was one where I felt like they had to throw everything in. A couple of Bulldogs purchased up alongside the Stingers. The fact is, if they can use the Showstopper get in and the Viper's Pit, this is still a terrifying round, and we know already what they're like with their util.
Of course, you know, that Viper's Pit with these weak weapons, you're always going to expect it to give you the leg up, but with Padatek having those Seekers, with Double Initiator on the other side as well, between the Wingman, the Dizzy, the Guiding Lights, and the Dog, there's so much for Team Liquid to try to push Fnatic out of that ult, or at least find them inside of it, and we've seen how deadly the spams can be in this series. I don't think it's a guaranteed win, and for Fnatic, they'll need to get in position first. That's the showstopper to open. Oh. It's done damage, but it hasn't taken the player down. In fact, Camo, he's low. He's down to 1 with Decay, but he's still surviving on the back of the site for now. His health slowly coming back online, but it's left on 13. The man's lucky to be alive, but without that pick, they can't get forward. Down goes Chronicle. No pit to play inside of. No Crashies to get them on site. This is falling apart at the seams for Fnatic. As I see 2 players move towards long, if the idea is to TP, there will be something waiting for them on the other side.
There's no safe way out of this at this stage. Trex should have the round locked in.
30 seconds left.
And the rest of the players can just wait patiently. He's starting to wonder if maybe they've rotated back in the other direction, but if anything, the Boombot, it's not going to give the game away, actually. It might even put some doubt, but they are not moving. They've seen the utility. Padatek well placed, and now with 12 seconds left, OT, it looks inevitable. Boaster would need one of the clutches of all time, and it is not going to be happening. We said that this would be A banger of a game. And well, first map OT, it's delivering.
We're proven not to be liars. It's always a good feeling. What a game it has been. Constant adjustments from both sides to try to get this across the line. We move back to the defense for Fnatic, where, again, I think Alpha here is going to be one hell of a threat to deal with, but those lurk-ups from Nats, we saw towards the end of the half have so much value, where he played through his own utility, denied the defuse, and ultimately allowed the clock to decide how the pendulum swung.
It's interesting as well. I feel like a lot of the time when you go into OT, you get an immediate pause. You get someone who wants to throw in a strat, throw in some extra little bit of information, but neither of the coaches felt the need to try and talk to their squad in that moment. Maybe a game of pause chicken.
We heard it from Neil yesterday, right? Like, this just means that you're hearing the right things. You don't think the guys need a refresher. Fnatic remembering their mistakes, but maybe not as Boaster goes down early again. And it's Kiko to find the double. He'll dive out, looking for more, but Crashies won't allow that. Eats the flash, but still finds the kill. And it's close onto Trex, but that stun makes it very difficult indeed. A quick reaction from Chronicle catches Nats before he can link up with Trex. But Trex can now just go the long way around. He's taken the orb. He's got it.
This will get
And now he'll grab the plant. That means playing against Thrash in the post plant for Chronicle. That's going to make this very difficult.
No, but this always makes me nervous. He's gone running up. I don't know if Chronicle has actually heard the steps. It seems like he's turning back. Just pulls out his gun, but not in time. It's almost like he baited him with the idea of Thrash, and then got aggressive at the same time. Well played from Trex. And more importantly, Liquid, after a deficit, they now have a chance to close.
Yeah, that's such a nice play. Obviously, what's going through your mind, he's going to plant, he's going to fall back, he's going to run the clock down, he's going to use Thrash on me. If I don't hit those shots, I'm going to be stunned, and this round will end with a knife kill. But instead, he uses that. That's so smart from Trex. And 13 on the board for Team Liquid. A hard-fought series indeed. It was lights out from Fnatic starting their attack side, and they'll have to recapture that flame moving into this, what could be the last round of Bind.
Trex has been here a lot. He's been catching Boaster a couple of times, so instead they're sending the big dog. Alpha, yeah, but it's a different angle. This is much more aggressive than what we've seen from him so far. He was playing back in this exact spot most of the time. Switches it up and then just moves back, and Boaster goes, yeah, I remember that one, and immediately dies to the same thing. Trex is kicking it up a notch in OT. And well, Fnatic, they now have to try and fight back from a deficit, and guess what? This man has not left the showers. He's keeping it clean.
You're playing up against a guy who just won out that last clutch. He's got to have so much confidence to play with. And here we see it on display for the third time in the round. A lot of damage done, and certainly not a death sentence for Liquid. They get the information that the play is still towards A. The smoke goes down, but they cross through with that wall that's now soon to drop. But those players can be safe. The problem is, well, for a moment, they were splitting up. And if they were, it would be two players pushing on the other side. Kayak needs to clear his left when he comes out. He has, but Kiko hits the shot first anyways. Camo's there as well, and he'll close out the map. Team Liquid, 14-12. They fought their way back into this one. They have now got a one-map advantage going on to Fnatic's pick of Ascent.
Red Bull gives you wings.
for rumination. Let's leave it all behind. Take a flight, aviation. Want you, girl, by my side. Let me show my appreciation. I want you here with me. I miss your body, baby. No, I cannot believe that you're still single, lady. Wishing I could retreat. I want you here with me. Be my lover, be my, be my, be my, be my trophy, be my, be my, be my, be my woman, be my lover, be my trophy, be my, the only one I want. Be my preliminary. Let me caress the way I think it's necessary. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, babe. 7 days, are you ready? I don't need to say you know it, girl, you're extraordinary. I want you here with me. I miss your body, baby. No, I cannot believe that you're still single, lady. Wishing I could retreat. I want you here with me. Be my lover, be my, be my, be my, be my trophy, be my, be my, be my, be my woman, be my lover, be my trophy, be my, be my, be my.
Welcome back to VCT EMEA. Now TL 1 map away from the #1 seed in their group, and what a map it was all the way to OT. It really felt like Fnatic were going to close it out. It was going to be clean, it was simple. They drag it to OT and immediately go for the throat and finish it. I mean, pretty impressive stuff from TL.
Going into Bind, we know that, and especially with Team Liquid started on the attack, we expected a lot of explosiveness, and I think that Fnatic also expected it. As you're seeing right here, they just decided to go for the retake in most of the rounds, and Team Liquid did plant the spike 12 out of 12 times in that first half. Yes, we go to that OT, but I'm surprised that, you know, Fnatic like kind of knew what they want to do. But once we move on to the second half, the fact that Fnatic is playing without flashes made it a little bit difficult to overcome the layers of the Brimstone and the Viper without having a Gecko.
And I love how much these two teams know each other. Fnatic, they know Liquid want to plant, we'll play retake. Liquid know Fnatic likes to plant in the last 3 seconds. Kiko's just going to run through a smoke and deny it every single time. Yeah. And I think towards the end, when it was 12-9, Kukuga, there were a couple of rounds where it just showed just how well of a game that Liquid read into Fnatic.
Yeah, and we saw, like, for example, like Fnatic in this round, like having Kayak ult, having Kron's ult, like something that can, not Kron's, but Kayak can help you open up. But Team Liquid were playing very well around that, and they were very also conscious that the moment that they got a kill and 1 man down in Fnatic, they just had to run the clock down.
Well, and also I think the thing that I really liked that I noticed was there was a moment where Boaster got picked on showers, and immediately all the delay utility got used on the other side because they're like, they have to hit here. They're going to hit. We just found a random pick on Boaster. They're going to hit. Even before the Fade ulti came out, they had already thrown down the Brim Molly, just anticipating the immediate response to play. And to me, it speaks to teams that are like, yeah, we've seen the tape. We know what's coming.
Yeah, and it's very easy if you're Kiko to just waste your smokes, right? Yeah. I love the way that he doesn't waste his util. But I will say though, Fnatic, you want to check your corners maybe? You want to check something? Yeah, when you're 12-9 up?
Yeah. I think that this is something that we were speaking about. The Fade ult comes out, you try and follow up. Yes, you do have that Fade utility, but you're going in blind, and the other team is not going to be blinded by you. So, yes, you do have the traces on the floor sometimes. It is just not going to be enough, especially when, as you're saying, there's no shame in just going for the kill and Kiko denying that plant.
Yeah, but he did this, I think, the next round as well. There's 2-3 rounds in a row where Kiko knew he had one job job, which is to deny the plant. And who knew that if you only had 6 seconds to plant, if you couldn't do it in that 6 seconds, maybe you lose the round.
Fnatic should
Who
know that.
knew? Who knew?
At this point.
What I will say though is this might be the best Alpha Yatejo I think we've ever seen.
Yes, I think that we saw it constantly throughout this map. His utility was on point, and the worst part of it is that in this entire map, he got 1 assist. 1 assist! Because he always gets the kill. It is what it is. Sometimes, and most of the times, the Tejo utility, especially now that it has been nerfed and you don't play around it, is not supposed to be getting kills. It's actually supposed to move the opponent into the direction that you want to find it, and then you find the kill. So it doesn't necessarily deal the damage, and the drone is more to like re-clears and just keep presence on the map. So we kind of expect this kind of performance, but the fact that he's able to keep up with the numbers. And
can someone make me the John QT meme of the how many assists Alpha got 1? I need somebody to do that, whoever's listening right now on socials. The good news is for Alpha, he doesn't have to play Killjoy next map, and he's already warmed up and hot on the server, and this Chamber is going to be a menace.
I mean, Chamber is a... I almost said champ. I'm falling back into old habits, I apologize. An agent, I don't love him, I'm going to be honest, but I respect it.
But you love Alpha Chamber.
But I love Alpha, I just don't like any agent whose 2 abilities are guns. He's just like... People are throwing fire from their hands, and your power is you brought a gun.
Fire from
You know? Like, what is that? I'm sorry. Like, the Valorant lore couldn't support him, like, shooting laser beams from his eyes? I'm just sorry.
The laser beams are actually from Neon.
That's
that's
actually
true.
so
That's from the
funny
hand.
that you said
Sorry.
that.
That's a personal beef. But it has no bearing on the map or the strategy ahead of
Do
us.
you reckon Liquid stick to the 2021 Ascent combo?
I am honk shoeing. I know that Serial is no longer in the team. Can we bring the deadlock back?
Yeah, I agree. I like it.
think that you know, bringing some fun. We did see them, as you're saying, playing the most standard comp. I understand you have Nats on this team. I understand that you want to put him on Cypher. I understand that nobody should be able to take A, but it's just boring, man.
I agree. I
boring.
mean, and also Nats is really flexible these days. You can play Vice.
You cannot be against all the other teams that are giving like the Chamber here, the double duelist, this and that, and you're like, yeah, it's.
No, I agree.
Oh, they heard you and they said,
I could stand the content game.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not interested in the content. They want a clean closeout.
They do, and this could actually be a clean closeout, and this probably be one of the first times where Fnatic get denied that first seed. So often, they're always seed 1 going to playoffs, and also delaying their
your
champions qualification.
Patty was right?
Patty's always right.
Yeah.
Well, he's sometimes right. He's sometimes right. Yeah. He's sometimes right. I want to shout out Crashies on this map, though. I think he's the unsung hero.
Absolutely, and his utility is almost flawless. Like, he gets so many kills. He's so effective with the shock darts. He always gets the timing right. He's very, very good. And going up against Drex on the other side, probably another one of the unsung heroes. But we were speaking about him, we were speaking about Patty, and especially with the information that he gets with the knife, knowing that you're playing against a Euro and against the Chamber. Most importantly, believe it or not, with Chronicle on the device, you need to spot what setup Fnatic are doing for you to have a good read. Watch out for tree, please. Fnatic do it time and time again. Patty, you need to play with Nats on A.
And I want to see how Fnatic answers to this, because they know that they have a KO as well.
Yeah.
I want them to have a second layer. I don't want them to just rely on Alpha being able to get a pick, TP out, and then hit aside.
Watch Alpha just do it every single time.
But with the knife there, he can't TP out. So I need them to give him some support. I want a second layer because I think other teams are starting to figure out what they do on Ascent.
Yeah, a lot of teams are copying it as well, but this we're going to have to see if the OG is in fact the best, or if Team Liquid have figured out exactly how to shut Alpha down as we get ready for map 2. It's Ascent. Casters, take it away.
Moving on to Ascent, it's time to see if Fnatic can rise to the occasion, or if they'll be left in the dust as Team Liquid look to take this series 2-0. An impressive resurgence on their own map pick to get back in there in overtime. They were 12-9 down. It looked like Fnatic had everything figured out, but they came crumbling down in the end and couldn't get off that 12 mark.
Yeah,
Gentlemates.
All right, that's toxic. But either way, we're going to be getting into, a map that I think the Fnatic are going to be coming in fairly confident. We haven't seen it anywhere near as much coming out of this side of Team Liquid. And I do say, I like their old composition that they used to run with like the Teo deadlock at least a little bit more. Obviously the Teo has since been nerfed and it's not quite the same thing that they're running, so they've gone back to the old faithful. But I also do wonder if that's just based off the personnel they now have. Like, you have someone like Trex who is such a competent Sova player, why not lean into something you know will work?
Well, this is a heavy share of buy from Team Liquid. 4 of them in play, and already one's drawn blood. Camo pushing up on mid as well, but the short player's been isolated. The knife is out!
Okay, it was stopped. It was stopped.
It would have been the knife kill, but Camo stole it away. That was a hell of a decision for Nats. I suppose stand there and die was the other alternative. This Chronicle's now going to be left alone, and again, those Sheriffs still in the round. That is going to be difficult to play against, and Nats is the one to claim that final kill. 1-0 start for Team Liquid. And we had it yesterday where Neilzinho was commenting on the 2 Sheriff buy playing together on the attack side, how strong that can be. But the 4 Sheriffs in a frenzy blitz into mid, that is a different flavor entirely. Oh, wow. Different flavor entirely.
Well, bear in mind as well that Nats was the one who not only took the first fight, but was also dancing around playing with a knife. And he still manages to come out alive and with a couple of kills. A huge confidence starter for Liquid over on this defense. A squad that definitely has the depth of talent to make a map like Ascent work. I think Camo's definitely going to have to be a big part of that. Kicking things off on the defense as well, it's always going to be a good opportunity, especially with this comp, to really build up those rounds.
Fnatic have that head hunter on Alpha, but so far it hasn't found its prey. Although someone is a little closer than expected. Boaster thread the needle. He's caught Nats off guard. That head-to-head looking a little bit better for him now. And we're back to a 4v4. That could have been the kill for Trex, but that smoke came on just in time. The Spectre recovered, spraying through the smoke, dealing damage for Fnatic. They may be able to find a numbers advantage against Camo, but it's the Outlaw they're running into. Gotta hope the Headhunter finds value.
Oh. That's about as free as a kill you're ever going to get, and I expect that maybe you'll get the reload. Althea could find Trex here. Okay, he gets the job done in the end, but most of those bullets are gone. Kiko, a bit of an unorthodox position. I don't know if anybody's going to be expecting him just to be sat on the edge. They definitely will now, and Crashies with a right click has managed to make it work. Even still, though, there are a couple of players that they have to deal with. Time ticking against them, but they will get the plant. Unfortunately, already one is down, and Panitek does an excellent job of recovering a very dangerous scenario.
A valiant effort from Fnatic. If they force bot here, you'd still come out going, well, that was pretty close. It was a good, a risk worth taking. But for them to replicate what happened to start out bind, unfortunately, isn't possible this time around. Classic's finding a lot of value. Chronicle obviously going down isn't ideal. It's this fight here that was very risky indeed. Panitek cleaning up, keeping them in a relatively healthy position. There will be weaknesses in this round as a result, but those weaknesses are Sheriffs, and you certainly don't want to count Nats and Kiko out, regardless of the weapon in their hand.
Well, yeah, Kiko, of course, has been one of the highest rated players this entire stage, and I believe the last stage, and I believe kickoff. So, yeah, definitely. Someone who has taken like a duck to water in this controller role. Camo will be that first point of contact, and while his teammate has taken a bullet for him. It's not a bad trade, though. That's a rifle on the deck, and as you mentioned, it was only a Sheriff for Kiko.
Crashes with the shock dart over. I'm not sure if it's meant to hit lane. I think it is. A little bit of an attack lineup. I think it wouldn't hit the cam, even if it was in like above the arch or anything like that. A little bit off. He'll be able to see that.
Another tag.
The next one. 10 HP on Kayak. 140 in for Camo, and again, we said like Sheriffs are a weakness.
He's still going.
He's pushed all the way down middle. I mean, he hit the 140, now he's hunted his prey to the ends of the earth, even makes it out. And now look at this push coming down on short. Panitek backs off just in time, so Crashies comes through to clear it. It's just a waste of time. There's no one there.
That's the big thing. Time. 40 seconds left. Another tag connected. So, yeah, Camo's done an impressive job, but it is still a 3 versus 3. The main danger now, as always, with Fnatic is that clock. And they are walking into Trex, the one purchased up Phantom. He was one of the main reasons they were able to close out the last map. If he can close out this round, they're going to be off to a flyer of a start. And they were pulling out utility. They were expecting him to be at the back of the site. With the amount of time, you can understand why. But now that clock gets even more dangerous. And Trex, alone on the B site, will do the work once again.
Yeah, man, he is carrying through that momentum from the end of the last map. It hasn't gone anywhere once he's given the challenge. And you completely, I agree with you, Tom. You understand why they don't think he'll be there. The clock is running so low. If they get that kill on stairs, it's straight into plant, the round flipped, and they're back in with a huge advantage.
Also, you think once they've run into the site, they're probably on like 7 seconds, so he just needs to kill the planter. It's a risky play, but an intelligent one.
Probably most of the time, the right play is to go Boathouse and just run that clock down. But this, again, we saw the decision-making with the Gecko when he had the ult going into OT. Now we see the same thing here. Trex is, he's feeling it. He's not afraid to take a couple of risks, and they're catching Fnatic off guard. Now, leaving that attack side with next to nothing. Sheriffs, we sung their praises, but they're against a full buy, full utility. You got a Guardian, you got the Headhunter for Alpha. There's still promise, there's still hope for this round, but ultimately I think you just have to, the expectation has to be set around getting a couple of kills, doing some damage to the economy.
I mentioned, if we can see the best of Trex, this team could be a world beater. There's already plenty of those on the other side though. Kayak started off strong. Trex will be the one to respond, and Nats is playing around his own setup. There's a reason you still see him on this Cypher and not switching things up. He creates his own luck, but there have been trades across the board. The advantage has dissipated for the side of Liquid, but they do still have some heavy hitters left.
Camel for a second scared me. He was going out as the spike was being planted. Now he's got teammates with him, or at least one. It's Patatek who has to take up that mantle. A 1 versus 2. Alfier still playing with the Headhunter. In towards main, no chance to recover a weapon, but Patty has to first get past Chronicle, who's holding out on the angle. He's got a good read on the situation. A great shot. And a knife for info that will be avoided, but the steps, he heard them, no? I think he did. And the deep flash, look at the defuse. It's in a perfect position. Alpha's got to run. He's got to sprint. He might be too late, but now he's got behind the boxes. He pulled Patatek off, but even still, Patty's able to get it done. 4-0 for Team Liquid. Expectation was damaged. Fnatic certainly got there, and it needed to be a Red Bull clutch to get it across the line.
Yeah, no, honestly, you look at how Patatek has been playing as well in the last couple of maps. He has been so clutch. He saved them in round number 2. He saved them here. Oh. I will say be careful. Those words have come back to bite people in the past. And while Fnatic, after a pause in the last map, we mentioned it every single time, they immediately responded. Now, for those of you who don't know, since we've been in this partnership stage, in fact, I think since all the way back to 2021, a best of 3 has not gone in the direction of Team Liquid. They are currently 1-up. They are currently 4-0 up on this map. And of course, the only other that we saw it at the very beginning of the pre-show, them winning in EMEA, them taking that trophy. But it's a very different looking roster to then.
That stats you saw on the screen, obviously, as you said, Tom, from the partnership era back in 2023 when we kicked things off way back in the Coliseum. And yes, the rosters have undergone many changes. Nats has always been there. Boaster has too. And Nats, although he's been on the roster, now he's the one leading it. Now he has a chance to prove that he can be the difference maker at the helm of this ship. 4-0 start, 1 map under their belt already. And a chance for Trex to right the wrongs of history, 0-7 up against Fnatic. This could be where that all changes. Coming into this round, Rifles and Fnatic, you might think, Alfier, he's done an angel. He's not bought a weapon in all his era, but no. He has got the ult to work with.
For a second, he almost did.
Luckily, he still does, yeah.
We've seen with the Chambers on this side of Ascent. Same for Filu as well. That attack side operator is nasty. They're trying to put him into position. A lot of the time, the rest of the team will opt to try and be a distraction, but The fact is Liquid have managed to burn a lot of time off the clock already without really having to sacrifice too much. An initial smoke, a knife's been thrown out, and now they've utilized the flash as well. But other than that, they've been able to hold on to the majority of their utility. In fact, Paranoia, another smoke, still all online.
Deploying drone.
Oh, Camo! He waited out the drone, gave a false sense of security to Chronicle. Hunter's Fury goes through. It's looking for players in main, but he's a little too far away to actually catch them.
30 seconds left.
The smoke down and a Paranoia primed and ready. Flash still online for Patatek as well. They're going to find it difficult to get value. It's Kayak. He got ahead of the Paranoia. The gate crash into sight, the opening pick, but they've still got so many players left to deal with. With Trex falling though, that could be the round in their hands. I said a flash for Patatek still, but Kayak's on a tear until he needs Camo. A 2 versus 3. An op-in play up against the tour de force, and it's Camo who comes in, forcing this back to a 2-on-2. Boaster will smoke himself off. In fact, it's the other corner. He's playing mind games with them. Camo still having that Blade Storm, though, a deadly foe. Boaster up close. He won't catch anything with Nats on the shorty, and now they've got the info. They just have to wait, and Crashies will be revealed. He tries to do the same, but the bolt on backside doesn't draw Nats' eye. It's Team Liquid 5-0 in the lead. That round looked like Kayak had done enough, but he is the only player to draw blood in round number 5.
I know, he did fantastically well. He played off his teammates' utility, gets that first opener, then manages a couple more while holding on to the site, but then the retake looked even better. Camo, 9-2 right now on the board. His operator at the beginning was deadly, but and that's the funny thing, that Hunter's Fury, you're going to see that and go, oh, I missed. It didn't, but that was reactive. That was okay. Yep. We now think they're going to execute. We've seen a drone. We know there's players coming that way. And the second it hits nobody, they're immediately full sprint to the other side of the map. It gave them info. But it was the clutch that gave Liquid the round. Still a buy for Fnatic. Still an operator with the extra credits for Alpha, yeah. But they need to start picking up some rounds soon. Last time out in a victory versus Koi, they ended up with 8 over on that attack side. Even going back to match versus Paperex, they had 9. So there are still expectations on this attack side from Fnatic.
I like the idea to spam back here, but Alpha, 40 HP. That op might not be as easy to wield now. He can still take a shot to the chest, but spam or 2 and he will be out of the round.
Depends from what.
Well, yeah, okay, if it's Camo, he's not having a great time. Or if there's a Sheriff in play, but no Headhunters for them, at least. He'll play this passive role, just sitting here, watching the cross, so that if they go to rotate, he can pick them off. The Cloudburst is used to give him a free cross, as Camo now joins this site. Deep control from Kayak. An op on the retake, never that easy to use. And remember last time, Camo had himself the Blade Storm to work with.
Man, they're just waiting. This time the cross will be a little bit more difficult. It looked like that was on, but it's not connected. Nice work from Trex, and now they're going to deny all of that utility. Hunter's Fury will not be available, but you look at the position that Crashies is in, and wow, there he is, swinging out immediately. Pico is actually going to manage the res. They thought it was bait. I can kind of understand. It was risky, but the fights have just all gone in their favor. All that stands in their way is the IGL of Boaster, but he will not get a chance to spam. Diffuse already underway, and Liquid looking really comfortable in these A-site retakes.
Yeah, I mean, so many things went wrong there for Fnatic. Alfie are having the cross. To be honest, it looked like he hit that shot. But Trex stopped just on the edge of his crosshair and fires right back. The fact that they fight through the door to first of all drop Patatek.
Beautiful retake, guys.
He broke the door. They knew he's going to fire in a nade or a flash or something is coming to flush us out of these positions. So they fight forward. Crashies finds that pick. If they pushed on the tap of that res, that would have been dumb, honestly.
Yeah, it would have been
Of course it's a fake. But no, they actually stick it. That's so unfortunate. And from there, the crossfire ends up working out for the trades. Team Liquid, everything's going right for them right now.
And it feels like there's been multiple rounds where Liquid have almost gone, you're going to expect me to do this, so I'm going to do the opposite, and it's won them the round. Kiko plays that perfectly based on just expecting Fnatic to do what they did. Oh, Camo. Again, that is a fight that Crashies was never going to win, but Alpha Year will.
Yeah, that cloud burst.
I have the spike.
Should have been a little bit to the right. Gave a gap. Maybe that was the idea.
Yeah,
give a gap and look to exploit it.
But everyone else has a stinger, so if he was facing anyone else, that gap would have been fine.
Yeah, true. And I think he wanted that aggression. I doubt he hits a shot like that and then misses his cloud burst.
Ooh,
One health. Does well. 1 HP, still alive, but he won't get out of there. The Stinger easily able to take that fight. With the trades back, that's all that Liquid need at this point. We're looking at a potential 7-0 start on Ascent, the map pick of Fnatic, a map we know that they're solid on the attack side left. For Liquid. This couldn't be going any better. All they have to do is win out a round where Boaster has a rifle and Prodigal still has that SMG, but now they'll be down to pistols. They try to rush and force the issue, and with the weaker weapons, they still win the fights. 7-0 for Team Liquid. This is a masterclass of the defensive Ascent.
Yeah, they feel like they're ready for absolutely everything. It definitely got dicey in the middle, and that's just about surviving. Some risks being taken. And then just running in. I think that was before the ult even landed. They just went in with the pistols anyway. They just knew that they were going to lose their guns and maybe had the expectation that their opponents would think, okay, they're just going to wait. Well, Fnatic are definitely in danger. That's a second pause use going into round number 8.
I'm going to ask you a question that, honestly, Tom, if you have the answer to this,
probably not.
We need to check what's going on in that brain of yours. But maybe Captain Cow can search for it. When was the last time that Fnatic used up both pauses going into round 8 or before? Yeah, no,
I don't know why I would know that.
Because it doesn't happen. Maybe I reckon maybe like that's the kind of information maybe Sue would know. We're gonna get a text in a second. 423 days ago on Split, like it is something ridiculous. But I don't remember seeing them struggle this much. And again, I understand it because sometimes you have these rounds where players make key mistakes. And that's easy for an IGL to say, dude, don't do that again. Hey, maybe we don't make this read. And you hear the right things. But hell, not necessarily this round, but the round before, they did everything right. I don't think they made that many mistakes. Like, Alpha got spammed to 40. He made the right adjustment. They moved towards the site. They made the right adjustment to post-plant. And they got punished every step of the way. I'm not even sure what you say to correct that. It just feels like Team Liquid have got plot armor.
A chance for them to guarantee first place in the group, get themselves an extra point, skip a stage in the playoffs. It would put them in a fantastic spot in their journey towards champions. While also likely strike fear into the hearts of many. As the last map was a showing of resilience, and right now it's a showing of dominance. Two different sides to the Liquid coin. Already, knife going elsewhere. 3 players currently on the other side of the map, so this is one of the weakest positions that we've seen. Nat's also tagged up. In theory, should be dead to rights, but he is dancing, weaving. He's managed to dodge every pulse, and with the TP to the other side, now B ends up bolstered.
Push coming through from Camo. Could play a role in the late game, especially if Fnatic decide to go back, but I'm not sure that's really an option, especially not with Boaster going down. Now they're locked in. It's the B side taker, nothing. They go while smokes are up, but now faded towards the spawn. Kiko sitting inside his own, waiting to strike. Nice shot. There's Camo on the late play through middle, and they've left Alpha Year isolated. Fnatic out of pauses. We said it last map. They won 2 rounds in a row, no matter what. Come hell or high water, the coach's word was gospel. And Fnatic were always led to victory, but now 2 pauses down, 0 rounds on the board.
This felt different. I almost feel like they played a little scared in this round. Like you have the drone go through, you have the info, you have the Hunter's Fury, and then all of the players are still stood in main. Like a lot of the time when you see those Hunter's Fury executes, there is something behind it. There is someone moving because sure, Nats can dodge an ult. He can't dodge an ult and a player. But they just were so far behind everything, and then, yeah, rotates coming from the shadows to the other side. Flanks already there. Like, if you're gonna have those faster hits with the Hunter's Fury, I want it to be a fast hit with the Hunter's Fury.
This has been tough for Fnatic, man. Just been rounds, like we said, where it feels like they have the right answer, but maybe to the wrong problem. But in this one,
they got battered.
All over success.
But that's the other thing. I feel like Liquid have also had the right answer to everything Fnatic have been trying to do. Like, it's easy to look at Fnatic and go, yeah, they could have had a round here and there, but in those clutch scenarios, Liquid have been superb. In their reads and rotations, they've been bang on. And individually, well, there's not a player that's been a miss. And I don't feel like if you're talking about the leadership styles, I can't imagine Nats has had to do any level of micromanagement. I feel like they've all been on the same page throughout this map thus far. And while what Fnatic are coming in with, it's not everybody buying everything. They still have credits for the next round, but they have put quite a bit into this one.
Passive trips for Team Liquid, keeping short control, punishing the movement towards the switch. Kiko onto Alfier. They are picking and choosing their fights, and Fnatic running past this spam. They've already made it through, but they're losing players bit by bit, piece by piece. The threads fraying from the loom here is Fnatic. They're not getting anything to go off of. Crashies is taking a risk, but hell, he has to. Someone has to at this point, because without it, there will be no reward. The TP from Boaster almost loses his life. He's being challenged. Crashies finds success up in heaven. Another for him. But down goes Boaster. It's Crashies alone. The plan's not for him. He'll swing out wide and take him down. Another surprise play from Liquid. And Fnatic, close as it may be, it's not good enough. 9-0 down.
Yeah, they did well from their disadvantaged position. I think Liquid's original setup caught them so many openers for free. And the fight back was decent, but again, it's what I'm talking about with players being on the same page. Like right at the end, one of you could have stuck, one of you could have fought, but that's not been the Liquid way throughout this match. They tap it, they fight together, and even though Crashies manages to take one, getting both of those would be difficult. Maybe the Odin could have been a problem. There was a shot or two that didn't quite go to plan.
Thank you for showing it the respect it deserves.
But here we go. 9-0. And just look how confident they're playing. They are right up mid already. There's going to be Crashies to try and find some semblance, some balance, but there is nothing to be found. That was a quick round.
That is not the one that you want when Fnatic should be saying, okay, boys, 9-3. We bounce back into it here. This is our chance. And the two players coming in on mid, they don't even get to see Camo as he dashes quickly down mid, immediately onto Alpha. The Blade Storm helping him out for a little bit more.
What was that round? Was that like 11, 12 seconds? That was so quick.
Fastest round in VCT
It genuinely might be. The other was a pistol, so I don't know if that takes a different vibe, but that round was incredibly quick. And they're going for it again. Disrespect. They want to try and close this one out quick. A lot of damage already being done, and this is a weaker purchase. Hunter's Fury has just found a double. They are getting destroyed. This is men against boys, and Fnatic have never been on the other end of a trouncing like this. They have managed themselves a single kill. And while within, yeah, he's trying to escape off the side. I can't blame him.
Okay, this is maybe flipping back in their favor. Kayak ended up getting hit by that Hunter's Fury as well. It tagged 3 players B main, 1 outside of A. Global utility from Trex. Both of these so desperately low. This push into Kiko, low as he may be. He's got the angle, and he's not letting go of it. 11-0. We've seen comebacks from Fnatic in the past, but this is starting to feel like it's too far gone. Team Liquid hungry for top seed. This was an outrageous last 2 rounds indeed. They're getting in Fnatic's face. An 11-0 isn't 11-0. It's a strong statement, but the way these last few rounds are going, it feels like they're being outclassed.
In the first 6 or 7, we were like, oh, this could have gone this way. And now it's just like they're getting bullied. Like, this is like a different team to what we're used to seeing. And sure, Fnatic have suffered defeats on this map, but they've always been getting themselves to double digits.
Didn't break the trap.
No, it didn't. You celebrated a little bit too early.
No, but it hit. It didn't hit the roof, you know?
Great. We are in that bad a place.
It's 11-0, Tom.
You're celebrating.
It didn't hit the roof. That's the biggest win Fnatic have had so far. Hopefully they'll find a little more. They got ultis to work with, and you always have the option here. Crashies pops ult after Kayak goes in, dimensional drift, and finds someone. That could give them a leg up. And they'll all move towards this B site. I see Gate Crash going through. I think it's going to be ult active, Gate Crash in, find a player, hit them with the ult, and hopefully find an opening duel that way. It's gone the wrong way.
All we're going for is hope, and just look at the rotation. 3 players already into the spawn. As said, Liquid have been fighting together. Camo in the corner. This is something that they have to check for. They need to clear. They can't allow him to get away with it. Kayak has done just that, but Kiko is still standing. Traded out by Boaster. Hunter's Fury going through, but so many low players on the other side. A pop flash in, but it's an immediate trade. Kayak and Crashies to at least give them a round. Give them a leg to stand on, and they will at least deny a 13-0 roar from the Fnatic fans as they are on the board.
Well, it's good to see smiles on the faces of Fnatic, even though they're trailing by so much. I said it, we've seen the comebacks from them before, and this could still end up 11-3, so who knows? Fnatic may have it in them, but it's going to be one hell of a battle for them to come back into this series after the break. $11-1 on Fnatic's map pick. Team Liquid, they barely managed to win out Bind, but this is a completely different face on that beast. For Fnatic, a comeback the likes of which we don't often get to see. It starts with a pistol, and with how things have gone, it may end with one.
They've climbed many mountains before. I will say I don't believe in this one. Still gonna get aggressive, but they've already been spotted by the camp. It might have looked like a gap, but the fact is Nats was ready. Spam through is close. Oh, actually does a little bit of damage. Camo's just gonna go swinging though, and while Crashies out of there in an instant. Nats already taking space, but Kayak was there. Only manages the one though, an immediate trade, but B main is where things could be interesting. Fnatic still hold that control.
Chances, top seeds slipping away round by round, but this could be the start of the comeback.
It's a landslide.
It absolutely is, slipping and sliding.
Avalanche.
Nats just about evaded the eyes of Alpha Yaren. There's a trap that they don't want to cross. Moving back on main. Camo's being embedded in mid. They're working the short control. They know at this point on the side of Team Liquid that they're likely to have that vice wall that they'll look to break, but all the while waiting for Camo to have a chance to strike, and now he has, opening the space. The spike comes back. He needs this fight, but he loses it. Now Liquid don't have guaranteed space, but what they have got is a player pushed through. The thing is, the wall was tripped. They should be aware of this. It should be being watched, and Boaster's the one to catch it. There goes Nats. A 2 versus 3 now. Fnatic look set. find themselves a second. Crashy's killed by the nade, but 8 seconds as the spike's going down. A player isolated in mid will be dropped, and it's all onto Trex. He's had the clutches so far in this series. This would be a big nail in the coffin of Fnatic if he wins it.
He's had everything. This has been one of the statement matches for Trex, but he could put a cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake, but there are 2 players up against him who desperately want themselves another round. Shock Dart out. He's going to do a little bit of chip damage, but now he's left isolated, low, with everything still to do. The first one will, however, go his way, but Boaster's trying to stick it. It's risky and the steps are baiting him off. He's based him off completely. Playing the mind games, just looking for those final shots. Trex is a master of manipulation. What a clutch for Trex to take them to 12.
Every time he's put in this situation, man, he's outplaying Fnatic. He's the one that got them across the line on Bind with some fantastic closers to the rounds, but this one may trump them all.
What are you doing?
The 1v2, the man who's 0-7 against Fnatic, he has tasted defeat at their hands more times than he can remember. But this round, this game, this series, oh, he'll never forget this.
Oh God, someone at Vitality has just smashed a desk. It is. Looking at the way he's playing. That was masterful. Manipulating 2 of the greatest players we have in VCT, making them look foolish. And now Liquid are a single round away from taking this one, finishing it off. Already, the spike has been dropped. Still, of course, a full investment of weaponry. Oh, it's a little bit shaky, but Camel does get the job done. And again, they've left a piece behind. It is going to be attempted to be cleared, and Chronicle does that at least. But now he's set to have to do one better. A 1 versus 3 to keep them in the series.
He's being watched as well. This already a night that Trex will remember, and all of Team Liquid with them. It's a cruel summer for Fnatic. 1 round on the board on their map pick. It's Team Liquid with a dominant display on Ascent. And this 2-0 in either direction, we could have imagined it, but not in this fashion.
No, that was annihilation. That was a team coming into that second map, their opponent's choice, and winning in dominant fashion. They didn't come in with a crazy comp that countered everything Fnatic did. They just did it with their own fundamental strengths and showing the depth of talent that they have within this team. They'll top the group, they'll skip a stage and get themselves ever closer to champions. And honestly, these are 2 of the 4 teams that we send. I'd be over the moon, because Liquid have just proven that they're not just a team that could potentially make it to events. If they play like that, they're a team that could contend.
Without a doubt, our top seed locked in from this group. Team Liquid, they've battled against the best of them, and they come out with barely a scratch on the final map. A display the likes of which we haven't seen for a long time, and at long last, Team Liquid win a best of 3